Hello everybody, and my name is Jason Pegler, and I'm here to present to you my favourite home study course, which I've designed to help you smash the fear of mental illness away. It's called Unlimited Confidence, Smashes the Fear of Mental Illness by Jason Pegler. Contents. There's 10 sections. Number 1, your healthy mind, body and soul. Number 2, you know what is crucial to your happiness. Number 3, you inspire yourself. Number 4, you inspire yourself and have time for other people. Number 5, you inspire others and become a social entrepreneur. Number 6, you can make the world a better place. Number 7, you are connecting spiritually, the death of the ego. Number 8, you are making the impossible possible, emotional intelligence, perception. Number 9, you can be creative. Number 10, your unlimited confidence continues. I would like to dedicate this home study course to anybody who is passionate about their own personal development and aims to make the world a better place. I would also like to thank anyone who has been supporting Chipmunkapublishing since I began researching the need for it in July 2001. Thank you for giving me the strength and support when I needed it most. In particular, I would like to thank Andrew Latchford, who is without doubt the most generous, patient and giving business partner, human being and friend that anyone could ever wish for. I would also like to thank those that have inspired my own personal development journey. Here it goes, in no particular order. Jim Rohn, Brian Tracy, Anthony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki, Susan Jeffers, Stephen Covey, Richard Bandler, John Grinder, Paul McKenna, Peter Thompson, Jonathan Jay, James Kahn, Peter Jones, Deepak Chopra, Napoleon Hill, Harv Eker, Tom Butler Bowden, W. Timothy Galway, Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen, J. Abraham, Bob Proctor, Earl Nightingale, Eckhart Tolle, Dr. Spencer Johnson, Daniel Goleman, Richard Branson, Timothy Ferriss, Rhonda Byrne, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Dale Carnegie, Sharon Maxwell, Magnus Hiroshi Tasaka, Dr. John F. DeMartini, Theo Paphitis, Tony Buzan, Michael Lossier, Gandhi, Matthew Ricard, Matt Morris, Virgil, Cicero, Brian Moore, Stephen Redgrave, R.D. Lang, Barack Obama, David Cameron, Tony Blair, Paddy Ashdown, Stephen Fry, Martin Scorsese, Eminem, Nelson Mandela, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Al Pacino, Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks, and Robert De Niro. I would also like to thank all the Chipmunka authors for believing that they and me can make a difference. Thank you for believing in me and the Chipmunka team. I would like to thank the many Chipmunka volunteers around the world for their time, kindness, and dedication in helping us to help more people. They can see that the work that they are doing is a unique empowerment model that is making the world a better place. I would like to give special thanks to the hundreds of volunteers and university students around the world who have given their time to come into Chipmunka offices to selflessly help other people who want to have a voice. I would also like to give a special thanks to students from French universities and London universities for giving up a considerable amount of their time and using their initiative to help more people. I would like to thank particular organisations in the thousands of media organisations around the world that have interviewed our authors. I would like to thank my family and friends for allowing me to express the way I feel about the world during our time together. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm still trying to listen, honest. Chapter 1. This is getting exciting. Your healthy mind, body and soul. To discover unlimited confidence, you have to reach inside of your mind, body and soul like you never have before. This takes a conscious effort or massive action, as Anthony Robbins most aptly calls it. Anthony Robbins, who is probably regarded as the greatest motivational speaker on the planet, says that you need to take massive action in his book Unlimited Power, published by Simon Schuster in 1989. I highly recommend that book. You have to read that book if you've not read it. If you've not read that book, then please read it. In the last decade or so, I have read several hundred self-help books and regard Unlimited Power as the best of them all. He is also a pretty impressive speaker. I've listened to him for many an hour and been fortunate to see him in person many times. You see, this is a recommendation. Go see him and let me know what you thought. Anthony Robbins is exactly right. There is no point in procrastinating on doing something. You have to actually do it. You have to look inside of yourself and ask yourself who you are as a human being and what you are capable of, then do it. Once you discover who you are, you can then discover what you want and then start doing it. It really is as simple as that, and not rocket science. Just decide to do something and then take massive action. Oh, and as Brian Tracy says, say, I like myself. I like myself to yourself as many times as you want, and say it every day. I like myself, I like myself, I like myself. Please say it now. I like myself, I like myself, I like myself. Feels great, doesn't it? During this book, this home study course, should I say, I've decided to split the journey to ultimate confidence into 9 manageable steps. It's like 2 Stephen Covey books in one, and a bonus chapter. Only joking. Stephen is a fantastic writer and mentor to so many people. I'll highly recommend the 7 Habits of Successful People and the 8th Habit. Whilst you go through each step and go through each exercise, take notes, reread anything you do not understand, and visualize the positive outcomes of each step so that you are also taking a step forward and are therefore 1 step closer to unlimited confidence. Each step will take you that little bit closer to smashing the fear of mental illness by 100%. So it vanishes beneath you. See this book, home study course, as an examination of yourself. You will be able to pass, but you will have to challenge yourself to progress. Then I recommend redoing the whole course and exercises 5 times within 12 months of first starting it to memorize and implement the strategies so that they have a lasting and permanent impact on you. This course is an opportunity for you to test yourself and give yourself 100% success, as you are the examiner of your life. Nobody else is responsible for how you feel. Just you. That is reality. See this examination as a confirmation that you and anyone can choose to be a success and even rid yourself of your ego in the process so that you can lead a fulfilled life and have a more positive impact on the world. I'll repeat. You are the examiner in your life. You have to get rid of your blame list, as Jim Rohn says, and take action when you feel an inkling, or you'll be a victim of the law of diminishing intent, and you don't want to mess up. Jim Rohn, The Art of Exceptional Living. If you've not read that yet, you're really missing out, trust me. Ultimately, no matter where you seek inspiration, the responsibility of living your life boils down to you and nobody else. This is not just another self-help home study course. Even if it were, I do not think that would necessarily be a bad thing. I like self-help material. They fill your head with positive things, and day-to-day people can easily be bombarded with more negative than positive thoughts. So self-help can reprogram positivity. My first two books documented how I lived a life of manic depression and cured myself. If you feel this is dubious, please break your pattern, open your mind, change your belief system, do whatever it takes to accept this as a fact, and then read on. I have been in the depths of despair and welcomed positivity and enlightenment into my life, and made the permanent switch into having a happy mind, body and soul. Therefore, I feel that I am qualified to write a new type of self-help home study course and publish a new type of self-help genre of autobiographical home study courses from people who suffer mental illness. I have changed my life, and I'm not just using some kind of theoretical system like many other self-help materials. My personal suffering has been revealed in my earlier books, and the weaknesses of many self-help writers is a mystery. Reading this, and listening to this, and absorbing this, listening to this, is a unique opportunity for you to totally enhance your life and reach new standards in every aspect of your life, so you can be totally empowered. You will be able to be a novus homo, as they say in Latin. A new man, as the amazing Roman orator Cicero was in 63 BC, when he became a member of the equestrian order through his achievements instead of through birth. Nobody had done that previously in the history of Rome, so it really mattered at the time, and it was really an outstanding achievement. If you find it hard to identify with the life of someone over 2,000 years ago in another city, then think of rap. Think of Eminem's lyrics in the film 8 Mile. The director of 8 Mile said that writing the lyrics for the film made Eminem go deeper inside himself than at any other time in his life. As Eminem says in the most famous track he wrote for the movie, if you had one chance, one opportunity in life, would you capture it or let it slip? This is what I'm saying to you now. Capture it. In 8 Mile, Eminem wins a rapping contest, but instead of celebrating who goes back to work so he can save up money for his studio time, the implication in Eminem's lyrics, I believe, are that you should capture an opportunity even if you only have it once. This is exactly what Eminem does in the film, and exactly why he won the contest and went back to work to save up for his studio time, so Rabbit would become a famous rapper, just like Eminem is. Would you capture it or let it slip? I remember being inspired when watching 8 Mile, and was fortunate that when an opportunity came along for me to make a rap album, I managed to capture it and not let it slip. So I decided to launch a rap album, and I did. Although it was a very steep learning curve over a short period of time and a lot of hard work, it was really much easier than I thought. The album is called A Can of Madness, the same name of my book, an autobiography on living with manic depression, published in 2002 by Chipmunkapublishing, the company which I own. I had one chance to do a rap album and took it. It all started when a volunteer in a Chipmunk office called Arma was reading the rap I wrote in A Can of Madness and said that she liked it and that she had a friend whose boyfriend was a rapper. I've always loved hip-hop, ever since I heard NWA Straight Outta Compton at the age of 12. I see hip-hop as a potential force for good, to bring cultures together and stop racism globally. I liked writing lyrics, but never really thought of doing an album or performing. Soon enough I met Arma's friend and the rapper. His name was Ryan, and at 17 years of age at the time he had his own label, Rascal Records. I was amazed how good the rappers were on his label, especially as most of them were teenagers and they wanted to help people. It's really nice that teenagers wanted to help people. and they wanted to help people with mental illness. So within 6 weeks I had paid for and organised rap events for them to perform live for the very first time. At the first event, one of my friends, whose rap name was then Howling, came along. He was a multi-talented 23-year-old at the time and introduced me to his friend Avarice, who made his beats. Avarice is a brilliant producer, lyricist and rapper himself, and went out of his way to help. We held several sessions after work in my office, and Avarice had given me a crash course in rapping in time to the beats, to the lyrics that I had written a few years earlier. This consisted of several evening sessions after work in Chipmunka's main offices in central London. Then we spent one day round his house, as he has his own studio, and within 4 months of meeting him I had launched my rap album. Just like Eminem, you can do anything, like making a rap album, if you wanted to. It's just a little example of how, if you have a good feeling for something, that you should just go for it and reap the rewards, whether they are emotional, financial, psychological or spiritual. In return, I wanted to help Avarice, so I kept in touch and I've helped him promote his crew, Renegade Artistry. Check them out at rarecords.net. They really are some of the most talented rappers in British hip-hop. Your moment of decision. As Anthony Robbins tells us, it is in the moment of our decision when our lives change, or we have a paradigm shift, as Stephen Covey calls it. Anyone who hears and connects with Eminem in the film 8 Mile could think of something in their lives that they have been hesitant about and would choose to go for it. If you read this book with this positive mentality and decisiveness, then you will achieve unlimited confidence. So, congratulations to you, dear readers, for taking the quantum leap. Yes, visualize it right now. Feel good. That's not good enough. Feel great. Feel fantastic. That's more like it. Into a happier state of consciousness. Okay? Then let's proceed. We get what we focus on in life. In order to have a healthy mind, body and soul, you need to treat these conditions as achievable qualities. Everyone has them, so if you don't feel it, stop moping around and just zap yourself with some amazing, fantastic, energizing sense of feeling. Great for yourself, other people and the world as a whole. If someone tells you that they have manic depression and a chemical imbalance in the brain, they do not know what they are talking about. You can alter your chemistry by getting more oxygen and jogging in the morning. No psychiatrist has ever proven that there is something wrong with your brain, so snap out of it. Snap out of believing those negative thoughts. Life is worth living. Take it from me. I know I've been so low. I was suicidal for months at a time, and I chose life. If Forrest Gump can achieve the impossible, then so can you, my dear friend. And if you can, so can anyone. So let's deconstruct having a healthy mind, body and soul into 3 parts. First, let's break them down into 3 separate parts. Then I will show you how they are all connected. Having a healthy mind is as achievable as you want it to be. Having a healthy mind. Having a healthy mind is as achievable as you want it to be. Let's set some targets. Say out loud. Say out loud. My goal is to have a healthy mind, body and soul 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the rest of my life. Feel good? Well, good isn't good enough. Feel very good? Feel outstanding. Woo! Great. Say it again, first in your mind, then out loud. Now try doing something fun with your body, like smiling. When you're doing this, or even be more adventurous and try a flying kick. Something to give you more oxygen and change your physiology so you are in a peak state. Repeat this 3 times. Woo! 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 Feeling great? Now continue. Those of you who have been to an Anthony Robbins seminar will know exactly what I am talking about. Don't worry if you haven't. Ever seen Paul McKenna? Now you have reprogrammed your mind, as Paul McKenna would say, to make this feeling of feeling great a reality. The more intensely you practice this incantation and awaken, the more real it will become. Why not commit to chanting to your first step to unlimited confidence 3 times a day for the next year? After that, it will be automatic. Now you have programmed your mind to choose a healthy mind. You can mark yourself and give yourself 1% towards unlimited confidence. Congratulations, you only have 99% to go. This will be as easy as you wish it to be, and you will remember the decisions you have made in this book forever, because you are consciously choosing to do so. Now celebrate as if your favourite football team has just scored. Woo! Or for all you ladies reading this, as if you have just bought a beautiful outfit that you feel stunning in, and the man or woman of your dreams walks straight up to you or your partner and asks you out. Or something else that will give you the same amazing feeling. Having just met your loved one for the first time, an end to world poverty, every religion becoming friends, something totally awesome and loving, so you will never forget this beautiful moment. Do whatever it takes to make this crucial moment in your personal development last forever, and then multiply the love and intensity 1,000,000 times. Close your eyes and have some beautiful intensity and love that will improve your life and the lives of those you love, and even those that you haven't met forever. Feel the love and relax in a state of being. Congratulations, you're now fully on your way to achieving 100% unlimited confidence. What's remarkable too is that this is a gift so that you can pass on both consciously and unconsciously. You can pass this on so you can help other people, and the world is one. Eckhart Tolle writes about this beautifully in The Power of Now. He is an amazing person. It's another great book. Check it out, seriously. For the first 29 years of his life, he was severely mentally ill. Then a profound spiritual transformation virtually dissolved his old identity and radically changed the course of his life. He did not know who he was, but spent 3 years on a spiritual high and lived for 2 years on a park bench in a state of ecstasy. The transition that transformed his life happened in a split second. Eckhart Tolle writes in his introduction in The Power of Now that he lived in a state of almost continuous anxiety interspersed with periods of suicidal depression. One night he woke up with absolute dread that was so intense, more intense than he had ever experienced. He had a deep loathing for everything in the world. His misery was compounded as he loathed himself more than anything else. During a time when he was going through the deepest psychological pain that he had ever experienced, he broke through into a high state of consciousness. Tolle writes, "I cannot live with myself any longer. This was the thought that kept repeating itself in my mind. Then suddenly I became aware of a particular thought. It was, am I one or two? If I cannot live with myself, there must be two of me. The I and the self that I cannot live with. Maybe, I thought, only one of them is real." Profound words there. This massive action, paradigm shift, step into unlimited confidence, step into being, personal transformation, superconscious activity, as Brian Tracy calls it, or whatever you want to call it, shows that anything is possible for a human being. Tolle is a living example that anyone's life, no matter how desperate, can improve. The same is true of any kind of mental illness, including manic depression. I know this because I achieved the transition myself. When I was 17, I was diagnosed with manic depression. From the ages 17 to 25, I spent over 1 year of my life in 5 different psychiatric hospitals. By the age of 29, I made a 75% recovery, but was still part of the medical system. In September 2005, I made a life-changing decision after meeting Robbins, whose work I'd been following. I had already used his techniques, but going into his events and using his techniques for inspiration in life accelerated my recovery and made me choose to take the final step to constant empowerment and unlimited confidence. I accepted that my manic depression was entirely self-manifested and that I would come off the medication that was poisoning my mind and to come off it forever. I also managed to get sponsored by the NHS to go to his events. So that was a bonus, and I felt justified in receiving this gift, as my day job as a social entrepreneur and learning his techniques would enable me to help more people anyway. Robbins and his techniques had helped, but without being a social entrepreneur, I would never have been able to make a full recovery. Both positive outcomes could be maximized to help even more people and give myself more personal growth and happiness. The first time there were 12,000 people hugging each other for 4 days. It was an uplifting experience that I will always cherish. Within 4 months of attending Robbins, I'd come off medication for good. In liaison with my psychiatrist, I must add. And had 25 people working for me full-time as volunteers at my company, Chipmunkapublishing's first office in London. The accelerated utopian vision to change the way the world thinks about mental health was becoming a reality, and it facilitated the launch of the Chipmunka Foundation, registered charity number 1109537, and enabled me to help more people worldwide. Every second of every day I looked inside my inner self, looking at what was truly important to me as a human being. As my mind became free of medication, I became stronger every day and more fun to be around. Within 8 months of deciding to come off the medication, my life had totally changed. I spent 3 months coming off slowly with discussions with my psychiatrist, who could see that I had massive insight into my own behaviour, life and belief systems, and he gave me his full consent and support because he could see that I had total commitment with the intelligence, aptitude and mental strength to make a life-changing commitment forever to be well. Now my psychiatrist is an active supporter in the active goals of my social enterprise and organisation. I'm also contacted often by psychiatrists and psychologists to help on their own, as well as their clients' mental health projects. How great is that? By May 2005, I was sat in a room with 200 people at the Dali Museum in London, listening to the Channel 4 TV presenter Sarah Smith talking about how I had a vision for the world which shows massive potential for helping people cure themselves of mental illness. I was a phenomenal public speaker, extremely talented consultant, social entrepreneur who written one of the most defining books of his generation, etc. A few seconds later, I was awarded the New Statesman's Young Social Entrepreneur of the Year 2005, beating celebrity chef Jamie Oliver, who has his own TV series and had convinced Tony Blair to commit to spending more money on every school dinner for pupils in schools throughout the country. All my dreams were starting to come true at a quicker pace because I had been setting the appropriate plans, but also because I had chosen to take massive action myself and actually do it. I decided that it was only me who was responsible for what happened in my life. This is true for you too. If you want a healthy mind, body, soul, or anything else in life, then ultimately it is your responsibility to do something about it. Now repeat after me. Me, myself and I choose to achieve 100% unlimited confidence, and I choose to do so now. Feel it, visualize it, imagine it, celebrate it, do it. Happy? Feeling great? Play your favourite song. Shout it out. Do it with a friend. Meditate, play football or do martial arts while you are saying this to get more oxygen in your body. Do whatever it takes to make it have a stronger and more lasting impact on your newfound content and happy mind. Do this with your friend, partner, imaginary friend, remote control, or any other inanimate object next to this that you're listening to. Do it now, enjoy it, and celebrate as if you just won your favourite Olympic event, and then donated your gold medal to charity for world peace, and say it 5 times so it stays with you. Me, myself, and I choose to achieve 100% unlimited confidence, and I choose to do so now. Me, myself, and I choose to achieve 100% unlimited confidence, and I choose to do so now. Me, myself, and I choose to achieve 100% unlimited confidence, and I choose to do so now. Me, myself, and I choose to achieve 100% unlimited confidence, and I choose to do so now. Me, myself, and I choose to achieve 100% unlimited confidence, and I choose to do so now. Say that you will do it 5 times for the next 5 days, and it will stay with you. Then every 5 days it becomes 5 times more intense and 5 times the fun. Who would not want that great feeling to continue? Congratulations, you can now give yourself 2% in your journey to 100% unlimited confidence. Just like anyone else who is a peak performer, I constantly draw inspiration from people who have the greatest minds in history to challenge me every day in my own mind and life so that I can help the people that Chipmunkapublishing is designed to help. Some of my favourite inspirational figures in this world are Mohandas Gandhi, 1869 to 1948, known as Mahatma, great soul. Gandhi was the leader of the Indian nationalist movement against British rule and is widely considered the father of his country. His doctrine of non-violent protest to achieve political and social progress has been hugely influential. Gandhi stuck to what he believed in. He had the peace of mind to continue non-violent and peaceful demonstrations despite being constantly pushed to the edge where most people have cracked under pressure and changed strategies, even beginning to use violence. Gandhi stuck to his principles, made a bigger impact than using force would have done, and went down his history as a force for social greatness. Number 2. Mother Teresa taught at St. Mary's High School in Calcutta. But the suffering and poverty she glimpsed outside the convent walls made such a deep impression on her that she received permission from her superiors to leave the convent school and devote herself to working among the poorest of the poor in the slums of Calcutta. Although she had no funds, she depended on divine providence and started an open-air school for slum children. Soon she was joined by voluntary helpers, and financial support was also forthcoming. This made it possible for her to extend the scope of her work. Mother Teresa received permission from the Holy See to start her own order, the Missionaries of Charity, whose primary task was to love and care for those persons nobody was prepared to look after. She became an international religious family by decree of Pope Paul VI. Her society. The Society of Missionaries has spread all over the world, including the former Soviet Union and Eastern European countries. They provide effective help to the poorest of the poor in a number of countries in Asia, Africa, and Latin America, and they undertake relief work in the wake of natural catastrophes such as floods, epidemics, famine, and for refugees. The order also has houses in North America, Europe, and Australia, where they take care of the shut-ins, alcoholics, homeless, and AIDS sufferers. Mother Teresa is also someone whose mind I admire. She dedicated her life to helping other people less fortunate than herself. She goes down as number 2 in my list of most inspirational minds today. Number 3. I am also greatly inspired, as many people are, by the mind of Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela is one of the world's most revered statesmen who led the struggle to replace the apartheid regime of South Africa with a multiracial democracy. Despite many years in jail, he emerged to become the country's first black president and to play a leading role in the drive for peace in other spheres of conflict. He won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1993. Bob Geldof was right to call him the president of the world. Nelson Mandela gave his life to stop the suffering and discrimination felt by his people. He reaches my top 10 minds today. My top 10 minds may change on a daily basis, as yours can, as there are thousands of people that inspire us. There's thousands of people that inspire me to push myself further and enable me to lead a more fulfilled, meaningful and loving life. Number 4. John Lennon. John Lennon also had an amazing mind. John Lennon's mind was so creative and he has given joy to millions of people. He created his own music and the Beatles are the most successful band in history. I like the way John Lennon went through stages and experimented with his mind. From songs such as Imagine to All You Need Is Love, his boyish humour and his peace demonstrations, his mind and his actions are truly inspirational to me. Number 5. Like many other people, I have respect for Albert Einstein. Einstein changed the way we all think by his theory of relativity. I was never very good at science at school, but like many other people, I am inspired by Einstein's positive impact on the world. Einstein contributed more than any other scientist to the modern vision of physical reality. His special and general theories of relativity are still regarded as the most satisfactory model of the large-scale universe that we have. Pele was a genius. It's number 6. Pele was a genius on a football pitch. Pele was the greatest footballer of all time in many people's books. Scoring over 1,000 goals in his career, he stormed onto the scene in a 1958 World Cup and was just as impressive in the 1970 tournament. He had a quick mind for football. He applied his mind to a higher standard than others and was an amazing player to watch. By 1970, people thought that he was past it, but he led Brazil to winning the World Cup that year and was inspirational in the tournament. I'm a huge sports fan, and watching the greats like Pele is one of the reasons why I still enjoy playing football. I could easily come up with a list of 10 sportsmen who inspire me on a daily basis. 7. I have always loved playing chess. Garry Kasparov makes my top 10 minds of people of all time for today, as he is probably the greatest chess player of all time. I know how demanding chess is mentally and physically, as I played to a high competitive standard from the age of 7. Kasparov has won world titles and dominated the game for well over a decade. Kasparov is also an amazing person as he speaks articulately on human rights issues. Number 8. Marcus Tullius Cicero. The famous Roman orator was a statesman, humanitarian and lawyer who was born 106 BC and died in 43 BC. Cicero is one of my heroes of history. He rose from plebeian to statesman class, which was unprecedented, and chose not to become a dictator in 60 BC when asked to join the first triumvirate, as he was not corrupted by political power. His philosophical work on old age is also the most sensible and helpful philosophical essay that I have ever read. It actually makes you look forward to old age. Check it out. It's in his selected works, published by Penguin. Number 9. Other minds that inspire me include William Shakespeare. Shakespeare wrote many amazing plays and beautiful sonnets which are still staged and known to people all over the world of all ages. Nearly 400 years after his death, his plays and poems have moved more people than any playwright in history. And his plays move people through every single emotion: joy, fear, sorrow, pain, pleasure, humour, despair, and enlightenment. Shakespeare's work touches every single facet of human emotion and has stood the test of time. Number 10. I also have a great deal of respect for Thomas Sass, who has challenged psychiatry since the 1960s. Sass's writing has pioneered much service user thinking about psychiatry today and shown that the drug companies' grip on the world of mental health patients worldwide need not last forever, and can convince people to think in different ways. I constantly use people throughout history to inspire me, so I have a mindset that keeps me on my toes and raises my standards every second of every day. You can do the same. Write down the 10 greatest minds that inspire you. Think of people who have changed the world, or people who have had a profound impact on history, politics, sport, art and literature. Even if it is your friends or family that inspire you, most write their names down and then give reasons why. So please do write down your top 10 minds now. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to write down your top 10 minds, okay? I'll be back in 2 minutes. Write down your top 10 minds. Okay, that was a bit less than 2 minutes. Now, with this home study course, it is absolutely crucial that you do these exercises. Make up your mind to be one of the people that completes every exercise in this home study course. This is so important. That's the only time that I'm going to have a break. The rest of the time, I expect you to pause, hit pause, and then do the exercises, and then come back. Okay? I'm trusting that you're going to do this. You're going to get more out of it. You'll take some in, but you have to do the exercises. Okay? Promise me. Excellent. So your top 10 minds. You might have just done 4 or 5 at the moment, so you can stop me now and finish them. Okay? Have you done your top 10 minds? If not, stop the tape. Okay, let's proceed. So you finish your list now, that's great. You have now achieved 3% of your unlimited confidence. 1, 2, 3% of your unlimited confidence. Write a line or two for each explaining how they inspire you to increase your score to 4%. Stop the tape now. Okay, you done it? If not, stop the tape, seriously. Okay, excellent. Now you have finished your list of people that inspire you and the reasons how they inspire you. Please read each person's name and the reasons out loud with passion in the same way you read out your incantation. Stop the tape. I'm back. Congratulations, you have now achieved 5% unlimited confidence. Feeling good? Okay. Feeling great? That's better. I deliberately made the first few steps the most difficult. Now, achieving your unlimited confidence score should become easier as you go through the exercises. NLP. The mind, as you can see, is an extremely powerful tool, and so is the body. People who study neurolinguistic programming, thanks to Richard Bandler and John Grinder, God bless them, realize now how important the way we use our bodies is. 55% of how we communicate is through our physiology, only 7% is from the words we use, and 38% is from sound and tonality of the way we do things. Imagine you walk around, standing upright, walking confidently and with an expression of calmness and friendliness. You will be able to send a positive vibe or give positive chi when you come into contact with people. If you maintain this positivity, you can even go further and deliberately be nice to people. This will have a positive impact on their day and yours. This is much better than walking and dragging your feet, kicking, cussing, being cynical and placing your problems on other people, etc. Better stop there. I do not want to break your pattern and make you sad. Let's keep it up and positive, happy. Move on. Just a word of warning for you. Don't be overly nice to people on an ongoing basis, as this is not being honest with people. Better to be positive than negative though, as this is really important in your journey to unlimited confidence. Think about following. Think about the following. If you see someone walking down the road looking angry, cursing and swearing, this will put your body in a different state. Your physiology will drop and somehow turn negative. Your heart rate may increase. You may remember something that annoys you and your mood will drop as well. You may even cross the road. You may change the way you breathe or stop breathing. This could make you nervous, stressed, anxious, give you a panic attack, even give you a conversion syndrome disorder if you've repeated this behavior over a number of years. See how the previous mindset triggered and caused this negativity. It was self-manifested. You could do the exact opposite. Think about it. If you've already mastered your mind, you have the 10 greatest minds in history inspiring you, and you know you can visualize more amazing people inspiring you in any walk of life, at any moment to help you get to achieve whatever you want in life. You can move forward at any moment when using your mind. You can do the same with your body too. Walk down the road. Smile. Look at someone else and feel happy and smile. Your positive chi will pass on to the next person, and soon you will walk confidently. Your physiology will be strong. You will enjoy every second. Look forward to what you are going to do and be happy in that present moment, and have a great day. This is something you choose and something that you decided to do. I am now older than I have ever been. My body is in better shape than it has ever been. I have more energy than I have ever had, and only require 6 hours sleep a day, because this is the way I've trained my body. You can do the same too. I believe I'm lucky to have a healthy body and look after it by eating healthy, exercising daily and not smoking. I believe that the healthier my body, the healthier and happier I am as a human being. I know the positive impacts of a healthy lifestyle and playing football and or exercising most days releases positive endorphins in my body that make me physically and therefore psychologically happier than I would have been without exercising. I still admire people in history who have the healthiest bodies of all time and step into their shoes to give me a psychological buzz every opportunity. I have consciously and unconsciously chosen to improve the condition of my body, which I know helps my related state, emotional well-being and happiness. Next, we move to inspirational bodies. Here it goes. Inspirational bodies. Number 1. I have an amazing amount of respect for Lance Armstrong. Lance Armstrong won the Tour de France 6 times. The Tour de France is one of the most demanding physical challenges in any sporting event. No one else has won the Tour as many times as Lance Armstrong, or as many times in a row. What makes the life of Lance Armstrong even more incredible is that he became ill with cancer, nearly died, and still came back to win all those Tour de France's. You think he did this by feeling sorry for himself? No way! He achieved this by deciding that he could overcome it and kept that positive mindset throughout. Number 2. Second on my list of bodies that inspire me is Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger was born in a small town in Austria and became Mr. Universe 5 times. He trained unbelievably hard. When I used to play competitive rugby as a teenager, it was Arnold Schwarzenegger who inspired me to go down to the gym. Even though I had never met him, I knew no matter how many times I went to the gym, that Arnold Schwarzenegger would look stronger than me. Imagining him as a potential opponent and imagining I was him when training inspired me to train more frequently and train harder. Rugby, like many sports, is quite a psychological game, and the stronger you feel when you look at your opponent, the stronger you feel, and that can make a real difference to how well you play. Third in my list of remarkable bodies is Bruce Lee. He was renowned as the greatest martial artist in the world and was responsible for taking martial arts into Hollywood. In 1970, aged 30, Bruce had injured his sacral nerve and he experienced severe muscle spasms in his back while training. Doctors told him that he would never kick again. During the months of recovery, he starts to document his training methods and his philosophy of Jeet Kune Do. 30 years later, this martial art is revered and practiced all over the world, and Bruce Lee inspires thousands of people to take up martial arts every year. Number 4. Another body or person that I admire is Amir Khan. At 17 years of age, he went to the Olympics and gained a silver medal. Less than a year later, he turned professional and beat the boxer who beat him in the final. And then, of course, when he turned professional, he became world boxing champion. Number 5. Houdini is the most famous magician of all time. Houdini is credited with the invention or unique improvement of a number of important illusions: the straitjacket escape, walking through a brick wall, metamorphosis, buried alive, the Hindu needle trick, the Chinese water torture cell, and the milk can escape. He revolutionized magic and took it to another level. He could escape from things that other people could never have perceived before. Number 6. The most amazing magician and stunt performer, David Blaine, is also somebody who inspires me. Born on the 4th of April 1973 from Brooklyn, New York City, Blaine made his name as a performer of street and close-up magic. David Blaine has performed many stunts. For example, in November 2000, Blaine began a stunt called Frozen in Time. Blaine stood in a closet of ice which was sculpted to fit his body, and a tube provided him with air and water while his urine was removed from another tube. He was encased in ice for 61 hours, 40 minutes and 15 seconds before being removed. Blaine survived as the whole world witnessed the event on television. Number 7. I remember when I was 9 years old watching the Los Angeles Olympics on television. Carl Lewis won the 100 metres, 200 metres long jump and relay. On the biggest day of his life he succeeded and was at the top of the sport for several years. Altogether he won 9 Olympic gold medals and 8 World Championship gold medals. Although I never went on to enter the Olympics, I found Carl Lewis an inspirational figure during and after the Olympics. Stephen Redgrave is another amazing athlete. He's the only athlete in the history of the Olympics to win a gold medal in 5 different Olympics. Redgrave epitomises the success that an individual can have at peak performance for the longest interval. He has also won the BBC Sports Personality of the Year. Number 9, and my favourite I would say. Phil Taylor is someone who deserves a lot of admiration. He has a fantastic ability to keep winning. He has amazing eyesight and hand-to-eye coordination. Phil Taylor was born on the 13th of August 1960 and is a multi-world champion darts player, considered by everyone to be the greatest ever. His nickname is The Power. Taylor has now clocked up so many world championships that people have lost count. Knowing how hard he practices, I would not bet him against him winning any more. Number 10, Michael Jordan. Another amazing athlete. He's the greatest basketball player of all time. He also made a comeback at the age of 35. Jordan put in the effort. He practiced before everyone else did for 1 year when his high school coach refused to pick him. Next year he got on the team, and the rest is history. Now think of 10 people with the most amazing bodies in history that inspire you. Please pause me, okay, and write the 10 people down as quickly as you can. Okay, make sure you get all 10. Hi, I'm back. Great. Well done. Feel the rush. Feel the bus. Feel the bus. Feel the buzz. Like top buzz. Feel the buzz. Coming up. Getting higher. Feel that natural feeling of unlimited confidence. Now you are 6% on your way to unlimited confidence. Write a line or two on why each one inspires you to get to 7%. So that's write a line or two on why each amazing body, the person you selected, inspires you. Okay, so you've got 10 of those and then you'll get... Go in for it. Go on, come on. Pause me. Read out loudly the names of the people whose bodies inspire you and why, and you have 8% unlimited confidence. Congratulations, you're well on your way to leading a happier life. Whee! What's next? I hear you ask in anticipation. Having a healthy soul. Make sure you do not mention the same people in this section as you did in the healthy mind or body section. I have to make it a little bit difficult at some point. That would make it too easy. Draw inspiration from different sources to maximize your well-being. Now you have a healthy mind and body, why not go all the way and choose to have a healthy soul? There are many people throughout history who have a healthy soul. Number 1. Top of my list today is Jesus. That's right, Jesus. I was born a Christian, but I am not particularly religious. I see myself more as a humanitarian with a mindset similar to some aspects of Buddhism. Like many people, I see myself as someone who draws inspiration from everyone who has a positive impact on the world. I see my duty in life as a communicator of unlimited confidence and mental health empowerment. Whatever your religious beliefs, Jesus was an amazingly generous person. 2,000 years after he walked the earth, Jesus of Nazareth remains one of the most talked about and influential people who have ever lived. Jesus dedicated his life to helping others and even died for us. How's that for having a beautiful soul? Number 2. Ready? Martin Luther King also had an amazing soul. He was instrumental in giving black people a voice in America, reducing racism and giving equality to black people throughout the world. He died for what he believed in and has had a positive impact on the whole world. Number 3. Wait for it. In my mind, Bill Gates. That's right, Bill Gates has an amazing soul. He had a dream to give everyone in the world the opportunity to have their own computer. He has been the richest man in the world for the last ever so many years, but gives away a high percentage of his wealth for charitable causes. In fact, he's leaving all of his money to charitable causes. Number 4. Dale Carnegie also has a beautiful soul. He was the wealthiest man in the world and was ruthless, but then went back to a commitment that he made at the age of 30. By the time he would die, he promised to redistribute his wealth for the benefit of society and for the education of the world, and he made sure he did. He accomplished so much, setting up schools and libraries that would not have been set up without his help. And of course, without Dale Carnegie, there'd be no Think and Grow Rich. Number 5. In my view, Anthony Robbins, the world's leader in motivational seminars, also has a beautiful soul. He is driven by the will to encourage everyone he meets to reach their full potential in life. Who is next, I hear you ask? Well, I'm going to be a bit easy on you now because you've already given me 20 different people. So now, just come up with 5 souls in the world that you inspire. It can be famous people or people you know. Pause me now. And then let's go back again. Okay, start again. You know the score. 20,000 hardcore knocking at your door. Only joking. Write a line or two on why each of these 5 people inspires you to take your well-being score to 10%. Celebrate. Jump in the air. Smile to yourself. However you want. Enjoy the natural rush and feeling of unlimited confidence. Unlimited confidence. Woo-hoo-hoo! Woo! Okay. When you have written this down and read it out loud and agree to at the utmost intensity, like you have never meant anything before, you will have completed 11% of your journey to unlimited confidence. I hope you're still celebrating. As you have gone through each exercise, you may have been thinking of the same people for different categories. I know I did. I ask you not to repeat the same people to make your journey to unlimited confidence more rewarding and more soul-searching. I never said it was going to be easy, but I promise you, if you follow the techniques in this home study course verbatim and do the exercises and give everything that you've got, then you will be able to move forward and have the opportunity to make 100% unlimited confidence a reality. There is no reason why you will not be able to keep that reality. This choice has already been made by you, so congratulations once again. You are well on your way to unlimited confidence. You will see now that there are people who can fit into all these categories and people who do not, for one reason or other. To achieve 100% unlimited confidence, you have to succeed in every category. Winston Churchill had a great mind. He was Prime Minister. He had a great soul. He is said to have saved Britain in its hour of need. He didn't need much sleep. He was overweight, a drunk and a smoker, and suffered from depression. In my eyes, Churchill fails in one category, possibly two. So realise how far you are going to stretch yourself. You are now only at 11%, so there is a long way to go, but you can choose to do it. Be like Nike or somebody who inspires you, just do it. Or as Richard Branson says, screw it, just do it. You can go further in your guide to unlimited confidence than Winston Churchill did, one of the most accomplished statesmen of the 20th century. There is no reason why you can't be successful in all three categories. I have a healthy mind, body and soul because I have identified what constitutes having a healthy mind, body and soul every day means for me. When I worked out what having a healthy mind means to me, I decided that it meant a mind free from medication, drugs and alcohol abuse. I choose to use my mind every day to spend time doing what I am passionate about and learning more and more about philanthropy, social entrepreneurship, mental health, personal development, well-being, business practices, social justice, information, technology, neurolinguistic programming, being a great parent, being a great partner, the world and other things. I learned to appreciate my friends and family more and appreciate simple things in life. I live in the now and do not worry so much about the past, but I know I'm going to have a bright future. I see life as a gift and I believe that I have an opportunity and duty to use the previous pain that I have experienced as a former manic depressive as a force for social good to have a positive impact on the world. I believe that I can facilitate changing the way the world thinks about mental health for the better and empower millions of people around the world to empower each other and give each other a voice so that in 50 years' time there would be no humiliation for anyone who is regarded as mentally ill. The moment that I realized I was in a mental institution at the age of 17 was the defining moment of my life. The first thought that went through my mind was that the humiliation I felt was unjust, and I knew that when I chose to, I would spend the rest of my life finding a way to prevent other people going through the same humiliation that I felt. I can say 3 things about having a healthy mind, body and soul. 1. My healthy mind is crucial. It's a crucial tool in reaching the most important personal goals in my life. My healthy body is another helpful tool in achieving my personal happiness. 3. My healthy soul is as a result of me being comfortable with my own values. Know what is crucial to your happiness. That's where it gets really important now that you understand what's going on. In the first chapter you learn how to establish a healthy mind, body and soul for the rest of your life. You realize that this was a choice that you made and attainable when you decided to do so. In this chapter you will learn what is crucial to your happiness as a human being. Think of your life and how hectic it is. There are many things that we plan to do in a day, but do we ever get everything done? Of course not. Life would be boring if we did get everything done. That's not what life is about. Life is about knowing thyself. This old Greek adage is just as relevant today as it was 2,500 years ago. To discover what you want to do in life, in business, relationships, or relaxation, it helps to plan. However, this is not always the case. For example, if you can be in a constant state of being, then you may be able to move from one flow to another. But this is not practical for most people to suddenly step into, and is a complex line of thought. It is not in my nature to plan. I am by nature impulsive and have a stream of consciousness style to my writing and thought processes. If something feels right, then I tend to go with the flow that I have. To get the most of your well-being, however, and to know what is crucial to your happiness, it helps to plan, certainly until you move into higher states of consciousness and spirituality, which are discussed in Chapter 6. A pioneering exercise to do, which is used in most self-help books, is to write things down. At the beginning of this chapter, Chapter 2, we are going to use Anthony Robbins' technique that has been rehashed by hundreds of authors writing self-help books since. For our purposes in this instance, Robbins' earliest work of 1989 is ideal. In Unlimited Power, Robbins writes about us writing down our top 20 values in no particular order, in order to take steps for us in finding out exactly who we are and what are therefore the most important things to us. Spend 5 minutes writing down your most important values. I'll give you an example. For me, values that immediately come to mind are love, healthy mind, body and soul, companionship, loyalty, honesty, integrity, compassion and hard work. Once you've written them, put them in order of priority with number 1 as the most important to you, e.g. honesty, number 1, healthy mind, body and soul, number 2, love, number 3, integrity, number 4, compassion, number 5, hard work, number 6, friendship, number 7. Please write down your 7 values. I'll give you a few seconds to do this. So, number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Do not forget to put them in order of priority. You should have at least 7 values. So just put a number next to them, which are the most important. Feel free to change it, cross it out, but just get them down for now. Then write a paragraph for each of the top 5 and why they are important to you. This brainstorming exercise will start getting you in the mood to really answer a question once and for all. How will I know what is crucial to my happiness? Use my example of having a healthy mind, body and soul to help you. Example. Value 2. Having a healthy mind, body and soul. I know what makes me happy. Having a healthy mind, body and soul are important to me so that I can make the most out of the love of my girlfriend, friends, family and people who I meet in life and want to help and want to empower and give a voice to. With my healthy mind, body and soul in place and awareness of my values, I am able to focus on what drives me to have a positive impact on society. Now please write your top 5 values with explanatory paragraph. Okay, value. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. This exercise should take you at least 5 minutes, really 10 minutes. can do it if you're really quick writing and they come instantly, do it in 5 minutes, 10 minutes you should have it done by. Okay, so please pause me or stop and then come back in 5-10 minutes. Congratulations, now you have added to your top 7 values and explained why your top 5 values are the most important. You can move from 20% unlimited confidence to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25% unlimited confidence. Wow, you're a quarter of the way already to unlimited confidence, smashing the fear of mental illness. This is so exciting. I'm having fun. Hope you are. The rest of this chapter is an example of how I've answered what is crucial to my happiness as a human being. For me, it is helping other people with mental illness that feeds my happiness and motivates my goals and actions in life. Whilst you are reading, please think of answering this question for yourself. There will be a space for you to write your own notes at the end of the section. And time to write your notes. So, can you imagine, please, for me, imagine a circle, okay? Imagine a globe like this. And then at the top of the globe, maybe from here to the top, you see where my fingers are, you have big steps. Then in the middle, here where my fingers are moving now, you have a goal realised. Then at the bottom you have small steps. And then you have an arrow going through the middle, which is interconnected. So you have big steps at the top, small steps at the bottom, goal realised in the middle, going round, and then an interconnection arrow going from one line to another. What this visualization illustrates is how small and big steps can interconnect to realize a goal. This diagram can be used as a model to help you with your goals. My main goal in life is to reduce the humiliation of people with mental illness. I visualize this goal working so I can place it in the goal realized section in this vision above. To achieve my goal, I use a variety of steps. At the bottom of the diagram, or the bottom of the sphere, this is where the small steps are. I would include the Chipmunk Foundation. The fact we help people with mental illness, the fact that I as an individual have had manic depression gives me credibility in working in this area, these small steps. In my view, these steps are steps towards the goal. The big steps would be the Chipmunk Group, i.e. Chipmunkapublishing, and my personal mastermind groups and development seminars, things like that. The fact that I set up Chipmunkapublishing as the mental health publisher enabled me to set up the Chipmunk Foundation. Even if the Chipmunk Foundation achieves its mission and becomes the most effective mental health charity in the world, it will not become a bigger influence than the Chipmunkapublishing or Chipmunka Group or myself as the driving force, creator behind it. The Chipmunka Group is a social entrepreneurship model that enables the foundation to grow organically. The Chipmunka Group generates its own revenue and actively supports the foundation. It also gives opportunities to people with mental health issues to become self-employed, social entrepreneurs, and show that people with mental health issues can achieve anything that they believe is possible, therefore creating the world's first mental health celebrities. Excellent. Mental health celebrity. I like it. The Chipmunka Group itself has the same mission as the foundation, but uses economic forces to take a bigger step. Therefore, all parts of the Chipmunka Group would go above in the big steps section. because it's really, really important to have big steps. You can have little steps. It's really, it's great to have big steps and big goals, but you have to take little steps to get there. So, as I was saying, therefore, all parts of the Chipmunka group would go above the goal cylinder because of their economic potential in pushing the utopian agenda. The fact that my life's mission is to help people with mental illness is also, in my eyes, a small step. Within 5 years of setting up Chipmunkapublishing, it received more web traffic than any other mental health publisher on the internet. This is because we were given, and more people a voice and an opportunity to have their voices heard in a world where they are discriminated against. The reason why I've put helping people with mental illness as a small step is simple. I deliberately used the wrong language in the previous sentence and in the globe that I described to you. There's no such thing as mental illness, really. On one level, it is a mindset. I know this because I spent 12 years blaming other people for my manic depression. As soon as I stopped blaming others and took on full responsibility for my life on an ongoing basis, I cured myself. It does not take a rocket scientist to work out that other people, even famous people, could do exactly the same thing. Mental illness can also be said, quite rightly, to be a manufactured term set up as a form of social control, as governments do not generally want people to think for themselves. The term mental illness also fits the selfish entrepreneurial motives of drug companies to condemn and make money out of people taking medication that they profit from. On one level, everyone in the world could be said to have a mental illness. On another level, there are people who are suffering who need help, and society should be able to help them. This could be a real dilemma without an appropriate solution. The big step in this globe and the solution is to improve the well-being of people on the planet. The real voice here is changing the term mental illness and turning it into mental health empowerment. If people see, or even well-being, if people see the issue as well-being, there will be no taboo, and they will realise that mental illness affects everyone. So why not call mental illness and reprogram everyone to call it unlimited confidence? This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about. Then they will be more inclined to talk about mental health, and they're more likely to help a person with mental health issues when they see them, and not ignore them or judge them unfairly. They may even befriend them, give them an opportunity to get employed or manage their own life or money, or offer them appropriate support. When I put my publisher's head on, this is quite exciting, as in theory it means that I could publish a book on anything, as long as I can find an appropriate mental health hook on it. The same goes with study courses, with seminars, with training manuals, audio. There's so much potential to help people. If anyone in Silicon Valley is listening or watching, then feel free to get in touch, any venture capitalists. The other advantage of using mental health empowerment is also the mindset of the person with the mental health experience. They will see their state as something that can be felt by more people or even anyone, and will therefore also tend to focus on recovery rather than illness. Where people focus is massively important, as where people focus is where they usually end up in life. Then they can see a way out, change their mindset and cure themselves. With this paradigm shift, the drug companies and psychiatrists' influence on the world will lessen. Their grips will loosen, their roles will be redefined or replaced, and a new form of mental health empowerment will be developed, creating a healthier and happier world. Sound like a mad Scientologist but I'm not. This is just a call for humanity. It has nothing to do with any kind of control or something. It's just because when I was 17 years old, I had a manic episode. I was mentally ill, and I thought, oh my God, this is horrible. I don't want anyone to experience this. Not even my worst enemies at school. I didn't want them to experience it. Not even the school bully. I didn't want them to experience it. Okay, so the final step I would like to discuss is the fact that as a former manic depressive, I have credibility in the area of reducing the humiliation of people with mental illness. By the time I'd set up Chipmunkapublishing in April 2002 and launched A Can of Madness, my autobiography on living with manic depression, I knew that my story was an example of someone who was prepared to face up to what being diagnosed with a mental illness meant in the eyes of society. In fact, what motivated me to write it, apart from knowing it would stop me committing suicide, was to stop the humiliation and suffering of other 17-year-olds with manic depression. This is because I went through it first when I was 17, and it is only natural to want to stop someone else going through the same pain that you went through, especially when you feel the pain could have been avoided and part of it was unjust on some level. Anyone listening and watching to this with a mental illness knows exactly what I'm talking about, and especially chipmunk authors, you know exactly what I'm talking about. As I said, it's a natural human instinct. I'm no different than any other human being. This is precisely why my own experience is a small step in the universe, even though my experience planted the seeds for Chipmunkapublishing and is my driving force for realizing my goal to eliminate global humiliation. It is my passion that makes me get up buzzing every single day and commit to doing more. It is my passion which shapes my belief systems and confidence. I am only one person, but I have a goal for the world. The goal is to stop the humiliation of anyone who has been told they have a mental illness, because this is a horrible experience. It is something that in my eyes should not occur in the 21st century or should have ever occurred in history. This is a utopian goal, but one that I believe is possible. The big step here is finding a generation of people stepping out as others and I have done, using mental health as a positive, thus creating a paradigm shift. I envisage millions of people stepping up around the world saying why the humiliation of mental illness is wrong. This, like anything, only receives real credibility and revolutionary status if it is led and controlled by the sufferers themselves, by the people who went through it. Otherwise, everyone would be invited to Alcoholics Anonymous to give an opinion as to why certain people drink. The goal is beyond my own ego, it's beyond Chipmunkapublishing. It's about millions of people all around the world being brave enough to stand up for what they believe in as human beings, and having the mental strength to give back and take on the responsibility of giving others an opportunity to empower themselves for the well-being of the world and the planet. This is for all of our future and for the future well-being of the planet, for our children and our children's children, for people in the third world so they can empower themselves and improve their well-being and the rest of their lives. So we live in a humanitarian world for world peace, and so we can motivate ourselves as a race to save the environment, stop diseases, etc. So if you can imagine a new globe now, a new diagram line. What I want to imagine is that, like, I'm just going to go up like this a bit. I know it's a bit like, hello. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just visualize a globe. Imagine that at the top of the globe you have the well-being of the world, the Chipmunka group, the revolution of people around the planet, i.e. people having unlimited confidence. Then in the middle you have the well-being of the planet, and at the bottom you have the voice of mental illness. So what I'm saying is that as people's voice grows, as their well-being develops, and then we can have world peace at the end of that. If we keep going, there's a long way to go. Okay. This one goal that I've explained in the last few pages, or the last few minutes listening or watching, is an integral part of what makes me happy as a human being. I use the same thought processes in other aspects of my life as well. For example, The love of my partner, friends and family is also another crucial aspect to my happiness as a human being. Think of something crucial in your life to your happiness. It could be in your relationships, work, health, finances, etc. Now have a think about what it is crucial to your happiness as a human being. No need to write it down. Just feel it and it will formulate in your unconscious mind. Close your eyes while you're feeling it. That's right, close your eyes while you're feeling it. Just feel something that's important to your happiness and how it makes you happy. You have already achieved 25% towards unlimited confidence. Take a few moments to congratulate yourself. Pause and enjoy the moment. Visualize how great you will feel when you have finished this study course and achieved 100%. Feel good? Feel great? Yes. Yes. This is called an incantation and is a technique you can use in any aspect of your life. Whenever you want to overcome an obstacle or stress, or just want to enjoy the moment, you can always use an incantation to snap yourself into a positive mindset. Wow. Chapter 3. Inspire yourself. You may or may not have noticed in the previous chapter, chapter 2, that you jumped all the way up to 25% unlimited confidence. Unfortunately, as in life, confidence doesn't increase all the time. You have to keep injecting yourself with more confidence every day. So what happened in chapter 2 is you missed out 11 to 20% confidence. So in this chapter we're going to regain that 11 to 20% confidence. We're going to go back and find it, because maybe there's something that you're confident in some things but not in other areas. So this is the total package of unlimited confidence. Inspire yourself. My healthy soul is equally, if not more important, as how I act as a person determines my state of being and unlimited confidence. By being aware of having a healthy mind, body and soul, I can be successful in having unlimited confidence, and so can you. Through becoming well trained in self-help, empowerment and neurolinguistic programming, I know that the healthier my body is, the better equipped I am to fulfill my personal ambition of reducing the humiliation that anyone with a mental health issue faces. This is why I hardly touch alcohol or smoke or overeat. This is why I sleep as much as I need to and do not oversleep, and why I eat healthily. I know that physical exercise gives me energy, so I work out most days. I regularly do swimming in the morning, play football every week, do weights, cardiovascular exercises, and practice other sports, including squash and various martial arts. I am also convinced that I have a happy soul. I am happy with my inner self because I have searched my soul and gone through a personal transformation where I consciously discovered what would make my soul happy, and then lived by these rules that I set myself, and I regularly review the guidelines I set myself. Therefore, on an unconscious level, my soul takes care of itself and is happy. I know that the most important thing for my soul is to have a purpose in life that makes me a human being with a purpose. This makes me totally committed and happy in my relationships, has helped me find a peer group that I feel comfortable with and challenged by. For me, it is important to have a peer group that is constantly growing and evolving, otherwise I would lower my standards and get bored. I am also totally convinced that the work that I do every day is a force for social good, that other people around the world can benefit from today and in the future. I set up Chipmunkapublishing, the mental health publisher, to give a voice to other people diagnosed with mental illness around the world, so they could join other people's goal of reducing stigma on mental health issues and my personal goal of stopping the humiliation that anyone with a mental illness feels, and enable people to empower themselves through literature and multimedia. This one thought alone is what gets me up with a spring in my step every day. This is why I work so hard and put my whole life into changing things. I do this. Why do I do this? I do this out of choosing to do first, and then a kind of necessity, because I'm fortunate I have had the insight to realise what ingredients I need for having my healthy mind, body and soul. The final exercise for this chapter is for you to work out what gives you the peace of mind to realise the first exercise of this chapter is for you to work out what gives you the peace of mind to realise what a healthy mind, body and soul means to you. I want you to spend at least 15 minutes doing this exercise. Do it and enjoy it. Write down at least 5 situations in each category of amazing things, situations or events that would make you feel totally fulfilled as a human being if they happened or were happening in your life. Once you have written this down, prioritise them, putting them in order of significance, then put time frames around them. You can use them as your unlimited confidence action plan for the rest of the book. When you have completed this stage, learn them verbatim, and you will have caught up with the 11 to 20% unlimited confidence that you missed out on in the previous chapter. So please make sure you complete this exercise, or you stay at 11%, you go all the way down to 11%. I have given you my own examples to act as a template. The number at the end of each example below illustrates the order of priority I gave it at the time that I wrote it. This is a good exercise to try and can be repeated anytime you want to refocus your healthy mind, body and soul techniques. Notice that the order I wrote them down was not necessarily the order of priority that I gave each action. The more you write down, the more the exercise will help you. I found this exercise to be a wonderful experience. Sometimes I've written down over 30 points for each and prioritised them, which have led to rapid improvements in each area. Example, mind page. Visualise happy days every day. Do the work that I enjoy. Do not look at emails on a Sunday. Spend time with people who have compassion. Be in a state of being rather than visualization and enforced NLP. Read and complete the reading of one new book a fortnight. Switch off work in the evenings as much as possible during the week. Body page. Drink more water. Have a stronger physiology. Make love regularly. Play football every week. Go swimming 3 times a week. Eat my fruit and vegetables every day. Soul page. Help people on a daily basis. Spend quality time with my girlfriend. Look to empower others. See good in other people. Stay close to my family. Help someone I do not know once a month for 1 hour. Please complete your mind, body and soul techniques below. Mind section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause me for a few seconds until you finish them. Please make sure that you're the type of person who completes each exercise and doesn't go through and skip everything. It's really important. That's when you get the 100% unlimited confidence. I don't want you to get a smidgen or a bit of it or a piece of it or a part of it. So write the 5 down. Pause me if you need time. Now the body page, the body section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And pause me again. Just stop again and make sure you've put 5 of them down. And the soul section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause me again, stop me again until you've got it ready. And remember, you need to prioritize them, so you write them down and put them in the order. And go back and put them in order if you haven't prioritized them. And stop me again if you have to. Okay, and start again. If you have prioritized them, then congratulations. You can now move on as you have found what was missing, the missing void between 11 and 20%. So you're now back up to 25% unlimited confidence for real. This is a bit like it is in life. You have to realise that you might feel really confident one moment or one day, and then the next day you might not feel as confident, or the next moment. What you have to do is break through the fear and take action and just go for it and go with it. Because the most successful people in history are the ones who've taken action. They don't hesitate. They look at hundreds and hundreds of ways of achieving something until they do it right. Of trying something, attempting something until they do it right. It's really, really important psychology. That's why I've done it a little bit different than you would expect from going from 1 to 100. That's why I've taken you back so you can push yourself further, because life is really about ups and downs. Life really is about challenging yourself every day, and you can change how you feel in a moment and take decisions in a moment, and you don't want to procrastinate. You really want to go with it and go with the flow. So remember, you can do these exercises whenever you feel like reevaluating, so you can maintain unlimited confidence for your mind, body and soul. Chapter 4. Inspire yourself and to have time for other people. People can draw inspiration from others, of course, but to achieve unlimited confidence, as with achieving anything else in life, the responsibility lies with oneself. Muhammad Ali is a great example of this. Muhammad Ali, born Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr. on January 17, 1942, is a retired African-American boxer. In 1999, Ali was crowned Sportsman of the Century by Sports Illustrated. He's a 3-time world heavyweight champion. He's the most confident sportsman that's ever lived. He's incredible. Everyone knows Muhammad Ali. Most people who have heard of Muhammad Ali, whether they know much about boxing or not, regard him as the greatest boxer of all time. This is not just because he was a great boxer, but because he projected this image and always described himself as the greatest. I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest. Muhammad Ali was so intent on winning that he constantly referred to himself as being the greatest, to raise his self-esteem and empower himself as a boxer. The fact that it became true cannot be said to be a coincidence. In essence, it was Ali's sheer belief and mindset that he was the greatest that made him the greatest. The rumble in the jungle is a great example of how Ali, the underdog, inspired himself to victory. The rumble in the jungle. Ali regained his title on October the 30th, 1974, by defeating champion George Foreman in their bizarre bout in Zaire. Hyped as the Rumble in the Jungle, the fight was promoted by Don King, who had served time in prison. Almost no one, not even Ali's long-time supporter Howard Cosell, gave the former champion a chance of winning. Analysts pointed out that Joe Frazier and Ken Norton had given Ali 4 tough battles in the ring, and 2 of them while Foreman had destroyed both in the second round. The fight turned into a political symbol. Ali was taken to represent black consciousness and the fight against white power, Foreman taken to represent US arrogance. Ali was massively popular in Zaire, and it is said that the enthusiastic support of the crowd assisted him in his victory. In the fight, Ali took advantage of the young champion's one weakness, staying power. Foreman had won 37 of his 40 fights by knockout, most within 3 rounds or less. With Foreman's 8 previous fights not going past the second round, Ali saw an opportunity to outlast Foreman and capitalised on it. Commentators expected Ali to box Foreman at distance using his superior speed and footwork, but instead, during the second round, Ali retreated to the ropes, inviting Foreman to hit him, while sporadically counterpunching and verbally taunting the younger man. Ali's plan was to enrage Foreman and absorb his special-owned blows in order to exhaust him mentally and physically. The champion threw hundreds of punches in 7 rounds, but with decreasing technique and effect. This was later termed the rope-a-dope. By the end of the 8th round, Foreman was knackered, and Ali made his move, turning Foreman off the ropes and executing a lovely combination for the knockout. Foreman failed to make the count, and Ali had regained the title. Just as Muhammad Ali inspired himself, you can inspire yourself too. I do not mean to go out and punch somebody. Please don't do that. The determination of successful sportsmen, in this case, a great boxer, can be a strong metaphor for inspiring people in life. I'm inspired in life by many things. I'm inspired by the people I meet, by the things I want to achieve, by the wonderful world, technology, humanity, and advancements in art, education, and science that I witness as a citizen on a daily basis. I'm happy in my relationships. I surround myself by positive people. I do not overspend, which is something that makes me feel secure. A lot of people do not manage their money and therefore have a low financial intelligence, which can lead to great unhappiness. There are many books that you can read on financial intelligence. I've read many similar books. The Rich Dad, Poor Dad series are the best that I've come across. I highly recommend them. The Cash Flow Quadrant is, in my opinion, the best of them. Harvecker Millionaire Mind's good as well. I choose to do the kind of work that I am passionate about. I avoid doing things that stress me out and unnecessarily embrace the things that make me grow spiritually, emotionally, and intellectually. I am very aware of what makes me happy, so I focus on doing the things that make me content and happy. You could do the same. This is not only common sense, but a deliberate mindset that breaks the pattern of any negative thoughts so that they are not allowed to manifest themselves. All of us should be able to focus on the positive things in life, thus making our lives more fulfilled. Most people, though, focus more on negative things on a daily basis than on the positive. There are many reasons to speculate as to why this is the case. Robbins would argue because people's standards are not high enough. Perhaps it is because a society embraces people who fit in and do as they are told and conform. One thing that I have noticed is that people feel a connection with people when they are depressed. If people assume the worst, then they assume that they will not be disappointed. This is playing it safe, but it is also a disastrous philosophy in life, as it makes people content with being average. Therefore, people have low expectations and lead mundane and unconscious lives, as they never break out of their comfort zone. They become failures and then meet other people like them who do not achieve anything. They both feel a connection with each other as they are alike, and the dreams they once had disappear and are left to recite as a whim when they are much older. The same is true of mental illness too, and as a former manic depressive, I was a classic example. When someone is depressed, they create a negative image of themselves. If someone else, their best friend, feels compassion for them when they are depressed, they will be more likely to be open about being depressed again. This can be detrimental because the person who acts depressed is doing it to gain significance and connection with the other person. Therefore, unconsciously, they are more likely to want to feel depressed again in front of their friends, as they will feel significance and connection, and we all need these two sensations. They are part of the human experience. So when someone feels depressed, they are actually getting leverage over other people. If one can go manic as well, that's real leverage, as you can find people to connect with and give you significance in different ways. I've illustrated these examples to show that you can cure yourself from a mental illness. I know this because I've done this myself. As soon as I made the permanent decision never to go back to this self-manifesting feeling of significance and connection through depression and mania, I took full responsibility for my life and stopped blaming other people and moaning about circumstances instead of getting on with my life. Hence, in less than 1 page, I've articulated the cure for mental illness on a global level. Anthony Robbins has proved this change in action, and I've seen it. It can help thousands of people around the world. Millions. It should not be limited to people who have to pay to go to seminars, but should be brought inside the NHS and inside mental health hospitals, so people can make themselves better instead of spending their lives zombified on medication. Thank God Richard Bandler invented an LP. I'm very fortunate to have been hypnotised by him on stage, actually, which was a great moment in my life. Notice, I did not need to medicate myself or anyone else to actually make myself better. I did it myself. As long as people with mental illness are not stigmatised, can be empowered to have their voices heard and taught that it is actually a great thing to take responsibility for their own lives and take massive action, then this is a foolproof system that can be attached to health authorities and individuals around the world. This is the future of the mental health movement, not the medication time that we are witnessing year after year in repeat episodes of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. In my own work during the last 6 years, I have seen people's lives totally change and turn around for the better. And in my work over the last decade, I have seen their lives turn around even more, because we at Chipmunkapublishing gave them an opportunity to have their voices heard, not feel alone, and empower themselves. Just go to the Chipmunkapublishing website and you will find many of these people. You can read their testimonies and see how they are helping the well-being of others. Please feel free to write your testimonial as well, when you can demonstrate how you've benefited from this unlimited confidence home study course. It is no coincidence that the most successful people in history are not scared of failure. In fact, they are usually the people that have failed the most times to achieve what they have achieved. Successful people are not paralyzed by the thought of failure. They deal with it and move on. Look at Walt Disney. He is a classical example of somebody who didn't take no for an answer. Walt Disney, born December the 5th, 1901, died December the 15th, 1966. He was an American film producer, director, screenwriter, voice actor, animator, and philanthropist. As the co-founder of Walt Disney Productions, Walt became one of the most famous known motion picture producers in the world. The corporations he co-founded with his brother Roy, now known as the Walt Disney Company, has annual revenues of over $30 billion US. In 1922, he started a small company called Laugh-O-Grams, which began by selling short animated films to local companies in Kansas City. By the time he had started to create the Alice comedies, the company went bankrupt. Even though the company ended, Walt did not give up. He packed up what he had of his Alice comedies and decided to move to Hollywood to try and start a new business. When Disney arrived in Los Angeles, he only had $40 in his pocket and an unfinished cartoon in his suitcase. Interestingly, he first wanted to break away from animation, thinking he could not compete with the studios in New York City. Disney said that his first ambition was to be a film director. He went to all the studios in town looking for directing work, and they all turned him down. Because of the lack of success in live-action film, Disney went back to animation. His first Hollywood cartoon studio was a garage in his uncle Robert's house. Disney sent an unfinished print to New York distributor, Margaret Winkler, who promptly wrote back to him. She wanted a distribution deal with Disney for more live-action animated shorts based upon Alice's Wonderland. Disney looked up to his brother Roy, who was recovering from tuberculosis in a Los Angeles veterans hospital. Disney pleaded with his brother to help him with his struggling studio, saying that he could not keep his finances straight away without him. Roy agreed and left the hospital with his brother. He never went back and never had a recurrence of tuberculosis. That was the beginning of the Disney studio. One of the main things to remember about the life of Walt Disney is that he wouldn't take no for an answer. Another thing that Walt Disney had, and you should have if you want to inspire yourself to live the life you have dreamt of, is to embrace fear. Yes, for you to inspire yourself, you have to embrace the fear and choose life. Do not let fear hold you back, or you will never reach your full potential. As Robert De Niro's directorial debut so aptly explains when De Niro, the bus driver, is talking to his son. The worst thing in the world is wasted talent. A Bronx Tale. Love that movie. Chaz Palminteri, who plays Sonny the gangster, also comes up with an interesting line. When asked whether he would rather be feared or loved, he comes up with the interesting line: "If I had to choose which, I would rather be feared, as with fear comes respect." Well, that may be fine for people who want to follow a gangster. I'm saying do the exact opposite. Embrace the fear and move on from it. Don't ever let it hold you back. Another quality you need to inspire yourself is to stay focused on what you want to do. A great example of this is Isaac Newton. So Isaac Newton, 1643 to 1727. Newton was the greatest English mathematician of his generation. He laid the foundation for differential and integral calculus. His work on optics and gravitation make him one of the greatest scientists the world has ever known. He once said, "If I have ever made any valuable discoveries, it has been owing more to patient attention than to any other talent." Say that again. If I have ever made any valuable discoveries, it has been owing more to patient attention than to any other talent. So if you know what you want in life and know what inspires you, make sure that you stay focused on it every day. A 1-degree shift one day made consistent over a long period of time could lead to massive changes. And who says that you can't make a 360-degree shift immediately whenever you want? Who says you can't do that? This could be applied to anything: work, goals, dieting, training to run a marathon, etc. You can't just decide to go and run a marathon. You have to prepare for it and make changes consistently in order to do this task as you would any other concrete task. Give you an example. A great example of there's some. It's a true story. There's some race in America, and it is like the most difficult Ironman race you can imagine. It was ran over a week or something, and this guy turned up about 60 odd years of age. Everyone had shorts on, and he had like wellies on and long trousers, and everyone starts, and they said, "What are you doing?" He was a farmer or something, and they say, "What are you doing? Going to come to enter the race?" And everyone was laughing. And so everyone sets off and everyone's jogging, and this guy's last, he's just walking along. Now, everyone goes in tents and they sleep for 5 or 6 hours and then get up the next day. It's a really long race. This guy is last, and then all these people are in tents. He just keeps on going, keeps on walking, jogging along slowly. And he ends up winning the race by something like 8 or 9 hours. This is a true story, and it just shows no one had told the guy that he couldn't win. And he won by a mile. No one had told him that he was meant to stop either. I think that's a great example. Another way to be inspired is to know yourself. You can know your mind, body and soul. Remember what you learned in chapter 1. You can also know what is crucial to your happiness. Remember what you learned in chapter 2. In order to really know yourself, you need to take full responsibility for your own life. Make your own judgments, decisions, and do not live in the shadows of others. You need to know thyself. Now read closely so you can do the following exercise. Listen closely. Watch me closely. Think of all the things that inspire you and write them down. This could be anything. It could be a person, a place or a thing, a feeling. Let me give you 10 examples. The way the sun rises in the morning. The way Apple makes really cool products. The way single mums bring up children. The movies that Steven Spielberg makes. Eminem performing on stage. Bob Geldof committed to helping people in Africa. Coldplay's music and the way they play live. The way Jim Rohn delivered his public speaking. The way Bill Gates made computers widely available. People who want to help others. Now write your list of 10 things that inspire you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm reading them out because it'll make you more likely to do it. So please, you obviously haven't done it that quickly. So just stop me, pause me, have a break for a minute, and please do those exercises. Okay, I'm assuming you've done them now. Well done, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I know this is challenging. It's not easy. It's pushing you. So I really, respect you for listening. Now, take a look at what you have written. You'll see that most of my examples mention people who are recognised for being particularly good at something. Many of them were famous people. That was deliberate. Isaac Newton also said something rather insightful once. If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. I'm going to repeat that. If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. This is a fascinating concept. Inspirational people seek inspiration from other inspirational people. This is common sense. Do not hold yourself back. If someone else or something inspires you, feel it and make it a part of you. This does not mean that you have to change your character. If you're a shy person, you may not want to go around and tell everyone what inspires you. Just keep it to yourself and feel it. If you want to tell the world or give some inspiration to someone who you feel needs help, then do that too. Do not underestimate or be skeptical about feeling and therefore being inspirational. It is not a form of arrogance or even part of the manifested self or ego. The world is a beautiful place, and the whole universe and everything in it is inspirational. This is a fact of life. How you live your life and how inspired and independent you are depends on how much you choose to feel comfortable about the inspirational world around you. In my life, I learned the hard way not to take anything for granted. When I was diagnosed with manic depression in 1993, after spending 6 months in a mental hospital, I was only 18 years of age. Whilst it knocked the stuffing out of me, it also taught me a lot about life in a very short amount of time. It made me more sensitive as a human being. It made me know that at some point, when I was brave enough, I would dedicate my life to stopping others going through the pain and humiliation myself. I also knew there and then, the moment when I came down from mania and realised I was in a psychiatric hospital and my life had changed forever, that I knew I would ultimately have to take full responsibility for my life to inspire myself and be independent if I was ever going to make that horrific experience a force for good for me and society. The realisation of what has happened was at the same time the most harrowing and beautiful moment of my life, apart from seeing my children born, possibly, but it's certainly the most influential moment of my life, I think. I have taught myself always see that moment as a beautiful moment, and the poignant few seconds of my life planted the seeds for my life's work. Many people have defining moments in their lives, and it is more often than not how they deal with these moments that determine how their lives pan out. I have to say that again. Many people have defining moments in their lives, and it's more often than not how they deal with these moments that determine how their lives pan out. That is so important. It is one of the great things about being a human being that life is unpredictable, and we are given options to move in ways and experience things that we can not always predict. Of course, the world can be an unfair place, but most people can alter their own destiny. We have to believe that, otherwise we become lazy as a species. There are many techniques that can be used to train the mind. I've practiced dozens of techniques over the years. The most fun and the most helpful were the techniques I picked up from Anthony Robbins' more advanced seminars. I love Jim Rohn's, Brian Tracy's, Stephen Covey's, Paul McKenna's, Richard Bandler's. There's just so many. But with Robbins, I want to just talk to you further about this. So I would do a daily success ritual that lasted for 5 minutes and set the tone for having a great day. After practicing this routine for a year, I found that having a great day became automatic. This is absolutely true. This is totally true. Okay? I even found that if I tried to be negative in any way, I couldn't, because I programmed my mind to be extremely happy. I suggest anyone who has any kind of mental illness and finds it a burden to practice their own positive reinforcement ritual every day for 12 months, and they too will get the same results. One of my daily incantation rituals is mapped out below. After you have read it, there is space to write your own. I mean, I did all this even though I was into like Paul McKenna and Richard Bandler. I did all this on a conscious level. You can do it on an unconscious level with Bandler McKenna and all these things as well. But please, 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 some people are skeptical about the unconscious mind and all that. Just check out these conscious activities now. Okay, I'll call it training the mind. Okay, this is my example of the daily incantation ritual that I used to do. It's true, it's hilarious, but it's true. So, okay, so I would do a daily success conditioning ritual. I would jump out of bed and do a power move every day. That would be a karate move. Okay, so I would go like 10 of these, 10 kicks, 10 power moves, 6 the front taekwondo kicks, because I always like doing taekwondo. Then I would close my eye. I would do this in front of the mirror as soon as I woke up in the morning. Then I would close my eyes and envision myself. Second state, I'd close my eyes and envision myself. Then I'd celebrate. I'd jump up and down and anchor that with my physiology. Woo! Jump up and down, get my physiology really going. For 10 seconds I would do that. Every day. And say out loud with conviction my I am statements and my belief statements. So, and what I would say was, I'm focused on being the happiest I can be. I have a perfect work, home and family balance. I am the best father and the best partner I can be. I improve as a person every single day. I'm making the world a better place. Then, number 3, I am. So I am full of joy. I am outstanding. I am focused. I am inspired. I am kind. Beliefs. 3 beliefs. I'm making the world a better place. I am the greatest. I'm not Muhammad Ali, but I'm the greatest. I love the world. And I now give myself permission to move into this vision. I'll physically step forward. I now give myself permission to move into this vision and step forward. Really exciting. It's just, I get so pumped up doing this now because as I'm sharing it, I know you're watching, listening, reading, you're going to do it too. It feels fantastic. Imagine having completed all your visions and incantations. How does it feel 1 year after completion? It's unbelievable, absolutely amazing. I'll tell you, I used to wake up and just for a laugh I used to try and be depressed. Seriously, I used to try and be depressed when I woke up and I couldn't, because I reprogrammed my mind so much that I was totally happy. So, practicing my daily incantations gave me great confidence, improved my well-being and enabled me to accomplish things and feelings of unlimited confidence that I had not even really imagined before. You can feel the same sense of unlimited confidence. Just create your own ritual. I would recommend 5 minutes each morning in front of the mirror before you even clean your teeth, as then you will spring out of bed and into action and will set the positive tone for the rest of the day. Your daily incantation. I'm going to make it a little bit more specific, so I'll give you guides to tell you how to do it. So, number 1, your daily success conditioning ritual. So part A is to jump out of bed and do a power move every day, get in a peak state so you get your physiology, your body flowing. Your power move will be some physical activity that you repeat 10 times to build up the oxygen in your body. Mine was a high front kick that I learned when doing taekwondo. If you're unsure what power move to do, try raising both your hands in air and celebrating by punching your fists in the air, or star jumps or something really simple. The second state, close your eyes and vision yourself. Now select 2 or 3 clear goals that you wish to achieve in the next 2 years and imagine how you feel after completion. Goals. C. Celebrate. Jump up and down and anchor that with your physiology. This celebration should last for 5 to 10 seconds at least. Say out loud with conviction your I am statements and your belief statements. Come up with 5 adjectives. Each of them should be words that describes how great you feel, and then 3 positive belief statements. Above is what you are going to do each day. Then part 2, the date. 1 year after I've achieved my goals. Write goals again and feel the sense of achievement here. No more than 2 lines. Be specific. 3. I am. List your 5 positive adjectives of how you feel below. I'll give you 5 examples. Full of joy, outstanding, focused, inspired, kind. Belief statements. Write yours alongside mine. Number 1. Have you got your I am statements yet? Make sure you've got them. If not, stop. Okay. Write down the 5 positive adjectives. Okay. And if you've missed anything, just pause it and go back. Belief statements. This is really important. This is really, really important. Belief statements. Write yours alongside mine. Number 1. I'm making the world a better place. Number 2. I'm the greatest. Number 3. I love the world. Or at least mine are giving you the impetus to come up with something. I now give myself permission to move into this vision. I now give myself permission to move into this vision. Read this out loud and have your eyes closed when you say this and imagine how great it feels to have achieved your goals. I now give myself permission to move into this vision. I now give myself permission to move into this vision. I now give myself permission to move into this vision. I now give myself permission to move into this vision. I now give myself permission to move into this vision. So you've read that out loud. Imagine how great it feels. It feels great, doesn't it? Write down your goals again below and then practice feeling the sensation. Give you a few seconds to do that. Okay, pause me if you haven't done it yet. And then get ready again. Okay, great. Now you have learned the daily incantation ritual. Practice it every day. Once you've practiced it every day for a month, you can reevaluate it. You might find your goals, beliefs and feelings even more focused and inspired. For listing 10 things that inspired you earlier in this chapter and creating your own incantation ritual for your unlimited confidence score has increased from 25 to 40%. 40% already. Wow. List 5 things that are inspirational in any way to you at this moment in time to take your score up from 40 to 45%. I have given you 5 things that inspire me as an example. My example. Helping others, that's number 1. Number 2, being creative. Number 3, being true to myself. Number 4, inspirational people around me. Number 5, sporting heroes and applying their mindset and principles to my life. So your 5 inspirational things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll give you a few more seconds. Okay, pause me if you haven't finished yet. Okay, keep going. 5. Here we are, chapter 5. Inspire others and become a social entrepreneur. Look at any successful social entrepreneur, such as Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, and Bob Geldof. These people make things happen because they have self-belief, conviction that what they want is good for society and others follow. This can be on a grand scale or at your local community, talking to a homeless person and buying them breakfast one morning every week and just listening to them without judging them. I have dedicated my life to becoming a social entrepreneur and feel that my life has a purpose because of what I do every day. I remember once I saw a tramp shaking at 6 o'clock in the morning on my way to work and I wanted to help, so instead of giving him more money, buying him an unhealthy breakfast, I gave him mine and some dietary advice. Also gave him some advice on how to sell the big issue, and probably most importantly, listened to his story. When I wrote my own autobiography on living with manic depression, A Can of Madness, I received a grant from the government to give copies to people who it may have helped. I gave 300 copies to people in drug and alcohol rehab centres, as I knew that they might identify with what I went through and hoped it would help them. When I set up Chipmunkapublishing, the mental health publisher, in April 2002, I did so because I wanted to help other people who had been affected by mental illness. I wanted to stop the humiliation that they felt for being diagnosed with a mental illness and feeling alienated and worthless by society. In October 2002, we published our second book, The World is Full of Laughter, an autobiography on schizophrenia written by Dolly Sen. Dolly said that writing her book started out as a suicide note and ended up a celebration of life. Furthermore, she was actually inspired to write her own book by reading A Can of Madness, and the fact that I published it and believed in Dolly inspired her to help other people. Dolly often says that I was the first person to believe in her. This I find extremely humbling and proud because in the last decade or so, Dolly has helped hundreds of people around the world to express their creativity and given them a voice, just as we through Chipmunkapublishing gave her a voice by publishing her book and encouraging her to be proud of who she is and what she can achieve. In fact, she's probably helped tens of thousands of people, come to think of it. As I grew Chipmunkapublishing, any skills I picked up and opportunities that came my way, I wanted to pass on to chipmunk authors so they could raise their own self-esteem, improve their lives and give a voice and help more people who have been part of the mental health system for whatever reason. Years later, by 2011, Chipmunk has signed up over 600 authors around the world, and each of those authors has gone on to help other people. I call this the Chipmunka domino effect. It is part of our mental health empowerment model at Chipmunka. Once somebody helps someone, then the person that is helped often becomes stronger, i.e. has a potential to do more good. When an author has their book published, it may be the first time in their lives that anyone has taken their views seriously. When the author hears the news that they are going to publish, their self-esteem is raised as they have something positive to focus on, and they know that someone or something believes in them and believes that what they are saying is true, important, and is actually how they feel, justifiably about their condition, whatever that feeling may be. The day of the book launch itself is a day of positive reinforcement. The author's family and friends will be there, and they will see the author in a different light, not just as someone who has had a mental illness that they cared for or didn't understand, but someone who has taken a negative experience and turned it into a positive and has become a published author to help inspire other people with similar conditions and experiences. The day of the launch is also an opportunity for the author to give a talk about why they wrote the book. Therefore, the author now has a new identity as a public speaker and often gives more talks as a result. Later on, the author might start getting paid to give talks as they have become an expert by experience instead of a service user or former mental health patient who is not part of society. With publication, authors start to give talks to the media for the first time, which can also raise their self-esteem and profile, giving them opportunities to write freelance articles, encourage them to write more books or find employment. I have also helped many authors receive grants so that they can promote themselves, their books, and help more people. This is a win-win situation, as we're all working together to help the community and empower others. The stronger Chipmunka becomes and the stronger each author becomes, the more people we can support, give a voice to, and the more we can help society to empower people with mental health issues, so mental illness becomes a thing of the past. This is a utopia that I will always strive for, as it is something that I believe in and something which helps my own well-being, and the more I do it, the more I can help more and the more people I can help. Mental health empowerment, changing the way the world thinks about mental health. Mental health empowerment is a mindset, that is all. It is a perception of the mind. I began writing the skeleton for this home study course after I had learnt all the techniques that Anthony Robbins teaches. Robbins first appeared on the motivational scene in 1989 as a 25-year-old writing the highly praised self-help book Unlimited Power, seen by his fans as the leading figure in the personal development world. I first came across Robbins in 2000 when I read his material and applied his motivational methods, which are absolutely incredible. He's, in my opinion, the most articulate, practical and accessible motivator on the planet. Although you want to know about NLP, then go to the source and study Richard Bandler, is my view. He is the source. So why mention Tony Robbins in my own home study course on unlimited confidence when describing mental health empowerment? Well, because Anthony Robbins' legacy is symptomatic of a new line of thought in the world of mental health. People with mental health issues are becoming more responsible and are slowly being given greater responsibility by the world at large. Of course, many of the leaders in the history of the world have had mental health issues, but they've kind of kept it quiet. Anyway, this paradigm shift, as Stephen Covey would describe it, if he were to focus on this, and has been occurring year on year for thousands of years in Western culture. The madman was always humiliated and excluded in ancient literature in Greek tragedy. This is going back to 500 BC, where the ultimate punishment for hubris by the gods was not murder or torture, but insanity. Only in Victorian times, mad people were sharing the same cells as murderers and hung because the stigma was so great. Psychiatry came along as a kind of false police service and started medicating people to control them as a form of social control, and drug companies cleverly took advantage of this, making hundreds of billions of pounds for themselves and their shareholders. Then, NLP and personal development grew in the 70s, even though Earl Nightingale was before that, and Aristotle could claim to be the first personal development guru, as Brian Tracy picks up in his personal achievement masterpiece. Along with the mental health survivor movement, which gained a greater identity in the 20th century, there were interesting thinkers like R.D. Laing, mental health charities forming across the world, and mad pride as a concept and movement had a kind of inner logic of being proud to be mad, which in my view is a great concept and harps back to the old Greek adage of live thyself and know thyself. So, all along, the essence of mental health empowerment lies in people who are mentally ill, taking control of their own lives, being responsible for them, and giving back so that they can help more people. In 1992, at the age of 17, I was diagnosed with manic depression. After several years of procrastinating and moving in and out of madness, I made the decision to write my own autobiography on living with manic depression, a kind of madness, to save my own sanity and help other people. When I set up Chipmunkapublishing as the mental health publisher, I was fortunate enough to have an insight into mental empowerment for the 21st century and beyond. As Chipmunkapublishing documents how a generation of people with mental illness feel about their own lives and produces products by service users, carers, mental health charities, related organisations, employers, we are facilitating mental health empowerment. My work is an example of work being done by millions of people around the globe in giving a voice to people with mental health issues and breaking down the stigma. This home study course is not an attempt to praise what I am doing, it is an exercise to put my pulse, and therefore yours and other people's pulses, into breaking down the biggest taboo of all, mental illness. The home study course also aims to focus you on the positive transition of the Chipmunka phenomenon, i.e. what I describe as mental health empowerment. You may have a question. I know I do. Why is mental illness the biggest taboo of all? We are all human beings, and whatever our religious or spiritual beliefs, we all know why we are going to die. We all fear death and losing our mind. On a daily basis, any one of us could lose our sanity, as life is full of ups and downs, and human beings, as much as we like to think we are not invincible. Madness is something that is fascinating in the eye of the observer, because it is something that we are all interested in but do not want to get close to, hence the reason for the stigma. The tools for the mentally ill to cure themselves have always been there, and they always will be. We are now in many ways in an absurd time of self-analysing in history. We might as well all be in a Woody Allen movie. We are told by governments around the world that 1 in 4 of us will have a mental illness of some kind at some time in every year of our lives. By 2020, the World Health Organization tells us that suicide will be the second most common form of death. Is this a global epidemic, or just to be expected when you look at what is actually happening? Everyone in the world could be said to have some kind of mental illness, but many of them would be unaware of it as they have more pressing concerns. They need to avoid starvation, fight, disease, etc. We all feel up and down on a daily basis. Some of us more than others, of course, but we all feel this sense of imperfection, inequality as human beings. The only ones of us who don't are in contradiction to those who are, e.g. those who are actually in some kind of psychosis, i.e. a manic person who thinks they are God, or they play their brain fit 24 hours a day thanks to Richard Bandler. As psychiatry comes up with more and more mental illnesses every year, more and more people are being described as mentally ill. If this kept continuing for hundreds of years, then everyone in the world would be diagnosed with a mental illness. Wouldn't that be fantastic if I was the head of the biggest pharmaceutical company in the world, or even a major shareholder? Interesting. Do not see this as cynical. It is a fact. Eventually everyone in the world could be diagnosed, and if you sold the drugs that treated people, you would be quids in. I do not see drug companies and psychiatrists having a handle on things forever, for several reasons. For one, so many people are aware of alternative treatments, CBT, cognitive behavioural therapy, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, etc., and these techniques, if used correctly, are more effective than medication and do not poison your mind and body. Therefore, they will be more commonplace. There is also a lot of money to be made by generations of entrepreneurs who are into NLP, improving diet, physical exercise, gym owners, etc., healthy fruit and drink owners, giving up smoking, drinking, Buddhist retreats, self-help, etc. This is a huge market, and new types of products will produce thousands of millionaires and hundreds of billionaires over the next century. Also, taking Chipmunkapublishing as an example, we are already documenting the way tens of thousands of people with mental health issues feel about how they have been treated. If we could publish in some way 10 million products or experiences over the next 50 years, then that is quite a lot of evidence that says how people have been abused, how they feel, how they got better, etc., etc. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out that these people and millions of people around the world who have experienced what they have, will, and are standing up and empower themselves around the globe. If you thought Martin Luther King and Gandhi were an inspiration, then just think about the mentally ill. They have been the most isolated group of people in the world, and now they are empowering themselves so they can help the rest of the world come to terms with their own mental illness. Of course, these days you've got great ways of sharing information through social media, and Facebook is a great way to get people in touch with each other. It's incredible, and I totally embrace it. So there's even more potential. Being mentally ill in the past made me more sensitive as a person, gave me more the potential for greater good, and gave me a mental toughness and will to become a success and help people that was not identifiable in my psyche before. If you struggle in life and can get over something, then this gives you the potential to do more. Everyone knows that. It's a common truth. With the internet at our disposal, people can have a voice and people's lives can change and improve. We are a consumerist generation. People can dictate what they want. There does not have to be any brand loyalty because people can buy something cheaper, better, cooler somewhere else on the web. But people become involved with helping people because they know that we want to make a real difference and give people a voice. I, as an author and a CEO, an owner, business owner, I'm just an example to someone who was once not well and then decided to give a voice to himself and help others do the same. 5 ways in which Chipmunka helps authors. Number 1, giving them an opportunity to have their voices heard by publishing their story. 2, encouraging authors to speak to the media as a self-empowerment tool. 3, helping authors to get their own fundraising contacts to promote themselves and help others. 4, giving authors an opportunity to do other things, e.g. give talks, write freelance articles, set up their own business. Number 5, encourage authors to become leaders in their own particular area of expertise so that they can raise their own profile and help more people on a global basis. The way that I help others may be different to the way that you help other people, as I help people through my own work, i.e. the nature of my work is for a social cause. Yours may be more straightforward. Having time to listen to people at work if they are upset, being good to your friends, supporting your family, donating to charity, etc. Think of 5 ways in which you help or can commit to helping other people and write a few words on each of how you help these people or how you are going to help these people. Remember, we want to get your unlimited confidence score up to 100% by the end of this course. I'll say that again. Think of 5 ways in which you can help or can commit to helping other people and write a few words on each of how you can help these people or how you are going to help these people. Number 1. I'll give you a few seconds. Number 2. Number 3. Say it again. Think of 5 ways in which you help or can commit to helping other people and write a few words on each of how you help these people or how you are going to help these people. 4. And 5. I'll say it one more time. Think of 5 ways in which you can help or can commit to helping other people and write a few words on each of how you help these people or how you're going to help these people. Excellent. If you haven't finished, please stop me, pause, and then finish, and then play when you're ready again. You get 1% for each reason and 1% for each explanation. That's 55% on your way to unlimited confidence. Yes. Chapter 6. How can you make the world a better place? Every day I make a conscious effort to make the world a better place in some way. This is why I dedicated my life to giving a voice to people with mental health issues around the world. I believe passionately that I am making a difference in some positive way, and the feedback I receive from people who understand what I am doing inspires and encourages me to do even more. It took me many years of thinking and doing to get to this stage of contentment, happiness and fulfillment. From the ages of 17 to 25, I was self-manifesting my manic depression and causing a lot of pain to my family, friends, people I was in relationships with and people I came into contact with. From the ages of 25 to 29, I had improved a lot and was generally a good influence on people, but I was still rebuilding my life to some degree and had moments of fear, disbelief and great concern. Since then I've aimed to improve every day and realised there is never an end to learning. Gradually, after being focused on making the world a better place for so long, I feel that the world or universe kind of helped me. My attitude, belief systems and ability to help others gained momentum and enabled me to be content with myself and my own life and my role within it. We can all make the world a better place in many different ways by believing in other people, looking after the environment, being a good neighbour, respecting others, fulfilling our potential, helping others, etc. I had very strong belief systems and did some very powerful visualizations over quite a few years, where I envisaged making the world a better place. The strong visualization techniques I used took me nearer to achieving what I wanted to achieve every day. Every moment I consciously took to find the good in others and meditated my way into finding more people who could do more good and help more people. Everything in my life proved in some way as I was focusing on these positives. Everything in my life improved in some way as I was focusing on these positives, as I was approving to myself. The paradigm shift that occurred was remarkable. The same will happen to you too as you practice your daily incantations. Please, I urge you to keep going at it. Stay out of your comfort zone and stretch yourself. It will be worth it. Stretch yourself every day to be the best that you can be. You are amazing and you can achieve anything you set your mind to, including unlimited confidence. Now I want you to, in a minute, I want you to write down 20 ways in which you can make the world a better place. Not yet. And that's 20 ways in which you can make the world a better place. You will not increase your well-being score during this exercise, although you will be learning a crucial technique to unlimited confidence. The happiest people in life are those that care about the universe, the world around them, and others. So in many ways, what you are writing below is the essence of unlimited confidence, therefore marinating your well-being score. Whenever you doubt your well-being, think of helping others. How can I make the world a better place? That's 20 different ways, please. Whether they're very small ways or huge goals, just think of how you can make the world a better place. Is it being nice to a friend, being nice to someone you love, a neighbour, your child, talking in a big voice? Is it making a contribution to charity? Is it not swearing? Is it being healthier? Is it smiling at people? Is it contributing to politics or something that you believe in, that you're passionate about, or helping the third world, or helping your local neighbourhood, helping people from different backgrounds from a particular country, or orphans, or with disabilities, or people with mental illness? 20 different reasons. Okay, I'm going to give you a minute or two to write them down, and then if you haven't finished, you can stop it. But I'm just going to give you a minute or two to write them down. Okay. So I just want to keep you alert. So I know that you haven't written all 20 down. So what I want you to do is to just write as many as you can and to pause me. Okay, just stop me and pause me. And then you can start me again. Okay, now if you've written the 20 down, that's great. Excellent. If you haven't, please stop me again and make sure that you've written it down. It's really important that you get this, because this is about giving. So it's about giving something for nothing, if you like, and the more you can give to yourself and to other people, the more that you can get out of life, and the quicker you can get to unlimited confidence and helping those around you as well, and living the life of your dream and smashing the fear of mental illness. So, chapter 7, connecting spiritually. After doing my visualization techniques for 2 years, my positive chi, as I like to call it, empowerment became automatic. I had gone through different phases and intensities of NLP for 4 to 5 years, which meant I was automatically happy even when I ceased practicing NLP. I still had a sense of great contentment and fulfillment. This is true to this day and will carry on being true as I am fulfilled and content with the life that I lead. I have a state of equilibrium and balance that I had never had previously in my life, and will remain in this zone of unlimited confidence. There is not one particular moment when I realised that this had happened. I felt as if sometimes that I would be happy, and once my girlfriend asked me, "Aren't you happy now?" And I thought about it for a moment. Yes, I was, so I didn't actually need to practice myself or use any techniques to be happy. This was so simple, and I couldn't believe it, but it was true, especially after I had probably read over 600 self-help books in the previous 11 years, and then this breakthrough in consciousness and clarity of thought and contentment happened almost unwittingly. I just felt the feeling of happiness and accepted it. This is a very simple thing to do, actually. It just takes a little bit of concentration, perhaps an alteration in breathing, and then you can find yourself at one with yourself and in a state of unlimited confidence. Now, staying in that state of flow all the time it's impossible, really, but you can get there a lot of the time, and so even though every day I'm setting goals and pushing myself and looking to improve myself and make things better, I can slip into flow kind of at will and stay there for a pretty long time as well. So, which is great. You can get more done and just live an amazing life that way. Even if you only have that feeling for a split second, then see if you can get back to it. The more you practice, the more you will realize that it is easily attainable. Clear your mind of everything, i.e., what you are going to do, what chores you have for the day, and just be for a moment. Slow down your breathing, or breathe. You will be amazed how many people do not breathe. Then just focused on a feeling of contentment. There are many meditation exercises you can do to heighten your awareness of this state, and anyone can achieve the state of contentment if they just rid themselves of the irrational mind. Once you find this feeling of contentment and limited confidence, remember what it feels like, how you breathe, what your body posture is like, etc. So you can get back to it at any time when you need it. You might want to close your eyes. The better you can achieve this on a conscious level, the easier it will happen on an unconscious level, and the more that you will feel it. Whatever your religious beliefs are, even if you have none, you must have some spiritual connection with your soul, spirit, mind. Let your ego die. How many friends does the existential cynic have? Are they ever truly happy? I think not. I used to be like that. Just feel the positive energy and connect spiritually to yourself and others, and your life path will be smoother and more content. Feel free to open your eyes. I want to share 5 things that make me connect spiritually with you. Number 1, knowing that I am making the world a better place. Number 2, knowing that I am not responsible for the mental health of others. Number 3, I am happy with what I do, who I am, and how I feel. Number 4, believing that most people are essentially good. Number 5, seeing the world universe as an amazing, awe-inspiring place. So now I'd like you to write 5 things that connect you spiritually, and then after that an explanation for each. So please write 5 things that connect you spiritually. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Your unlimited confidence score increases from 55 to 60%. After you have listed 5 things that connect you spiritually, and then increases from 60 to 65% when you add your reasons. Now, please add your reasons. Reason number 1. Reason number 2. Reason number 3. Reason number 4. Reason number 5. Congratulations, you are now well on your way to unlimited confidence. Celebrate and feel the great feeling. Whee! Feel the sensation and celebrate. Come and celebrate some more. Woohoo! Really pump it up. You're getting really good at this. You're getting really confident now. Excellent, excellent. Come on, celebrate some more. Celebrate some more. You're getting really good at unlimited confidence. Excellent. Chapter 8. Making the impossible possible. Visualization, emotional intelligence, perception. Live your dreams. I am always doing that which I cannot do, in order that I may learn how to do it. Pablo Picasso. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. Ferris Bueller in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. All of our lives can sometimes feel a bit like the way Matthew Broderick describes life in the film Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That is why, in order to live an enjoyable life, the way one perceives life is extremely important. Having high emotional intelligence is also vital in maximizing one's potential and leading a fulfilled life. Daniel Goleman has written about emotional intelligence in several self-help books. Emotional intelligence is the ability to get on with other people. The more easily one can communicate positively with other people, the more positive and satisfactory one's life usually is. Emotional intelligence is completely different to one's IQ. If somebody is a genius, it doesn't mean that one is happy. In fact, often, people who are great thinkers are often tormented with extremely unhappy lives. Recognised as one of the greatest writers of all time, Proust was ill for most of his life. Nietzsche, another great writer and thinker, was also ill for large periods of his life. In fact, many of the world's greatest thinkers, artists, writers and politicians were tormented by living unfulfilled and unhappy lives, so much that it led to devastating consequences. We all know about the apparent synergy between genius and insanity. It makes perfect sense to me when Goleman argues that high emotional intelligence is a far more favourable attribute than having an equally high IQ. People who have achieved remarkable things in life have a focus and always have amazing self-belief. They are not necessarily more intelligent than other people. They may have a higher emotional intelligence as they may be able to connect with other people on a higher level than other people. One thing that is different between the highest achievers and other people, though, is that the perception of people who achieve amazing things is way different than other people. Remember the visualization techniques we learned earlier in this home study course. These visualization techniques can be used in any aspect of your life to make the impossible possible. This kind of positive reinforcement belief, as I like to call it, is one thing that is apparent in any instance of somebody making the impossible possible. In 1999, Manchester United won the treble. This had never been done before in British football and may never happen again. The Manchester United players who were part of that winning season often refer to their semi-final with Arsenal as the turning point of that season. Manchester United were doing well in the league and still in the Champions League when they faced their main rivals, Arsenal. Manchester United had not won anything so far that season. United were down to 10 men towards the end of the game when Arsenal were awarded a penalty. Dennis Bergkamp's penalty was miraculously saved by Peter Schmeichel. That moment gave all the Manchester United players a new lease of life. If Arsenal had scored that penalty, they were moments away from winning the tie. Instead, the game turned around and Ryan Giggs was to score one of the greatest FA Cup goals of all time, weaving his way through the Arsenal defence and keeping Manchester United's trebles dreams alive, and doing a hilarious celebration in the process of taking his shirt off and waving it round and round. On July 20th, 1969, Commander Neil Armstrong became the first man on the moon. He said the historic words, "One small step for man and one giant leap for mankind." A camera in the lunar module provided the television coverage as Neil Armstrong climbed down the ladder to the surface of the moon. Here, man had made the impossible possible. How had they done this? Thousands of people should take some credit. Of course, every member of the Apollo 11 crew played a major role, as did the whole of NASA, scientists who had worked on space travel, funders who had donated the money. The list could go on, as so many people would have directly and indirectly made the event more likely to happen. Somebody's perception was also possibly different to everybody else's, however. In President Kennedy's speech to Congress on May the 25th, 1961, he expressed a concern that the United States was falling behind the Soviet Union in technology and prestige. He challenged the nation to put a man on the moon before the end of the decade. Although Kennedy had passed away, his vision for putting a man on the moon had lived on. Success in life is almost always a matter of perception. What one's outlook is in life is often where one ends up. And Zig Ziglar, change the input and you change the output. He says it so well. If I wake up in the morning and I feel relaxed, look forward to the day, see the beautiful sky and enjoy being woken up by the wonderful birds, singing, I'm going to have a better day than if I think, oh no, I have so much work to do, woken up again by the noisy birds, focusing on the cold and clouds and wish I had taken the day off. It is as if every day, even every moment, we have a choice as to how we want to lead our lives. Some people get trapped in a negative cycle of thinking and end up doing nothing except self-manifesting their own problems, blaming others and feeling sorry for themselves. I know because I used to be like this a long time ago before I started using NLP and writing. The kind of people with these negative perceptions will never achieve the impossible, as they actually believe that they cannot achieve most things. They are the kinds of people that bring other people down, as it gives them a sense of significance and makes them feel better about themselves. They are people that have negative perceptions. Everybody knows someone like this. Well, the less you hang around with people with those perceptions, the more you will achieve. You can break their pattern and try to help them, but mostly you will fail, as they will be placing a burden on you. If you work with people who have very low expectations of themselves, then the best way for you to help them is to create a positive force field around them, so their negative sense of self disappears. You might want to create a positive force field around you as well, so you can maintain your positive energy. You'll need the ability to be able to switch off when you finish work for the day, so you are not overwhelmed by their negative self-esteem and negative impact on the environment around you. Be careful, as you will need amazing self-belief to ensure that you keep growing if you are supporting other people at work, in your home and social life. This includes your family and friends. You can only carry so many people on your back. You may be able to carry one person, or as Jim Rome says, if it's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the basketball player, you might be able to carry two, but no more than that. You can, of course, help other people change their perceptions of themselves, especially if their perception of themselves is unfair or unjust. Bob Geldof's work over the last 20 years and more is a great example of this. Band-Aid is a British-Irish charity supergroup founded in 1984 by Bob Geldof and Major in order to raise money for famine relief in Ethiopia by releasing a record, Do They Know It's Christmas, for the Christmas market. The single became the Christmas #1 on that release and on 2 subsequent releases. It was produced by Trevor Horn. Bob Geldof, after watching a television news report by Michael Burke from famine-stricken Ethiopia, was so moved by the plight of starving children that he decided to try and raise money using his contacts in pop music. Geldof enlisted the help of Major from the group Ultravox to help produce the charity record. Major took Geldof's lyrics and created the melody and backing track for the record. Geldof called many of the most popular performers of the time, persuading them to give their time for nothing. His one criteria for selection was how famous they were in order to maximise the sales. The recording studio gave Band-Aid 24 hours free to record a mixed record on the 25th of November 1984. The recording took place between 11 AM and 7 PM and was filmed to release as the pop video. The first track to be put down was drums by Phil Collins, including the memorable opening African drum beat. Tony Hadley of Spandau Ballet was the first to record his vocal, while a section sung by Status Quo was deemed unusable and replaced with the Paul Weller, Sting, Glenn Gregory section. Paul Young has admitted since in the documentary that he knew his opening lines were written for David Bowie, who was not able to make the recording, but made a contribution to the B-side. Boy George arrived last at 6 PM after Geldof woke him up by phone to have him flown over from New York on Concorde to record his solo part. The following morning, Geldof appeared on Radio 1 Breakfast Show to promote the record and promised that every penny would go to the cause. This led to a standoff with the British government, which refused to waive the VAT tax on the sales of the single. Geldof made the headlines by publicly standing up to Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, and sensing the strength of public feeling, the government backed down and donated the tax back to the charity. The record was released on the 15th of December and went straight to #1 in the UK pop charts, outselling all the other records in the charts put together. It became the fastest selling single of all time in the UK, selling 1 million in the first week alone. It stayed at #1 for 5 weeks, selling over 3 million copies, and became easily the biggest selling single ever in the UK. It has since been eclipsed by Elton John's tribute to Diana, Princess of Wales, but it is likely to keep selling in different versions for many years to come. The name Band-Aid was chosen because it had a double meaning. At one level, it means a band of musicians getting together to offer aid, but at another level, it is also an acknowledgement of the fact that such a gesture is like putting a sticking plaster on a gaping wound and does not address the full extent of the problem of world famine. The charity set up to handle the money raised is called the Band-Aid Trust. This project kick-started Live Aid the following year, which became a global phenomenon, raising over 10 times as much money as the original Band-Aid single. The group has been reformed on 3 occasions, each time from the most successful British and Irish pop music performers of the time to record the same song at the same time of year. Co-writer Major has commented that every generation should have its own version. I remember watching Live Aid from my living room at my parents' house in Gloucester in 1985. I would have been 10 years old at the time. For me, it was the most moving moment of the 1980s. It made me realise how privileged I was to have a roof over my head, to be able to eat 3 meals a day and not have any fatal diseases. Live Aid made me realise that I was luckier than most of the world, and I should never take that for granted as I grew up. Of course, sometimes I did take things for granted, and sometimes I didn't. I like to think that I learned a real lesson that day, however, that if somebody believes in making something good for somebody else, then that is a great feeling that they should hold on to, and it's heartfelt. Then other people will want to assist in strengthening and making it a force for good. When I attempt to define Chipmunka and what it means to me, I often think of myself as that 10-year-old watching Live Aid. What if we could have the same impact as Live Aid did in the world of mental health? Couldn't we too make the whole world stand up and listen and make the world a better place? If the equality of the world's mental health improved, then people would be better able to cope with inequality, and therefore the world would be a more just place. My perception of being able to make a real difference in the world's mental health enables me to have a positive outlook on well-being and makes me want to continue dedicating my life to changing other people's perception on mental health issues. Every day I receive an email, letter or phone call from somebody who says that our work at Chipmunk has really made a difference to their own life or the life of somebody very close to them. Or I see the same thing on social networking sites. And each time I hear something as positive as this, I feel like doubling my determination and capacity to help somebody else and empower or educate more people. My perception alters and I focus on the sensation of achieving more of the impossible, i.e. living in a world where there are no suicides and where there is no such thing as mental illness. Living in a world where everyone who has suffered mental ill health has gotten better and helped someone else overcome their problems. It is this attempt to achieve the impossible that motivates me to do more and inspires me to make a difference. This kind of empowerment has a positive impact on other people, and they do the same. They start to help people too, and thus we have the domino effect. It is amazing how many people can be helped on a daily basis because of these types of positive belief systems. You can do the same with your life. You can achieve the impossible. This is a choice that only you will make. You are ultimately responsible for how you feel. You cannot pass that responsibility onto somebody else. That is unfair and unjust, as they have their own life to lead. You can choose to be an optimist or a pessimist. You can try and be clever and say that optimism stems from unconscious fear and pessimism stems from a lack of a moral imagination, but that is only being intellectual and that will not get you anywhere. You can empower yourself and others by having an aptitude for emotional intelligence. This will get you halfway there, but in order to make the impossible possible, you have to take responsibility for your own life. You can visualize all you want, but unless you feel a sense of justification for your actions, i.e. need for doing something possible, that you will not achieve it. How you perceive what you plan to do is of vital importance. You cannot set yourself a task and then alter your perception. You have to keep reaffirming that you can make it, you can do it, you can make a difference, and you have to keep pushing yourself every day. Many times I have daydreamed of being a world snooker champion, as I love snooker, but I have never got anywhere near being a professional snooker player. I'm not focused enough, and let's face it, I'm not good enough. But that doesn't bother me, as I still love the game. When Ronnie O'Sullivan was very young, approximately 5 years old, he met Steve Davis, the then world snooker champion, with his father, and said that one day he too would become world snooker champion. 15 or so years later, Ronnie O'Sullivan did become world snooker champion and retold this story. Ronnie O'Sullivan deserved to be world snooker champion because he made it happen. Instead of daydreaming it like me, he altered his perception and actually did it. Could you become world snooker champion too, or could I? Well, that is unlikely, as Ronnie O'Sullivan and Steve Davis have natural ability that is far superior to most people who play snooker. But it is the combination of physis and furor, as the Greeks say, that makes a difference. That is, natural ability and hard work. I do not get disheartened that I'm not the world snooker champion, as I love the sport and admire watching the best players in the game. I enjoy watching other people succeed, and I'm fascinated by trying to work out how they are so good at something that I only have an amateurish understanding of. There have been occasions in my life when I have achieved the impossible, and there will have been similar occasions in your life too. Write down 5 occasions in your life when you achieved something that at one moment in time you thought you would never be able to achieve, and then list 5 reasons as to how you got there. No matter how small or big the achievement seems, put it down. I'm going to say that again. Then I'll give you some examples and then I'll ask you to say it. Write down 5 occasions in your life when you achieved something that one moment in time you thought you would never be able to achieve, and then list 5 reasons as to how you got there. No matter how small or big the achievement seems, put it down. Look at my examples to help you. Number 1. Having a steady relationship, fell in love with a beautiful woman. Number 2. Achieved unlimited confidence, stopped focused on being mentally ill. Number 3, work for myself. Saw an opportunity and took advantage of it. Number 4, won Young Social Entrepreneur of the Year 2005 with the New Statesman. Passionate about the work I do and other people noticed it. Number 5, finished my autobiography, A Can of Madness. Decided to do it and did it. Number 6, passed my driving test and drive regularly. Practiced and felt like I deserved to drive as much as other people. Number 7, repaid debts. Planning, restraint and focused on positive repercussions. Number 8, had David Cameron mention me in one of his speeches. Just happened, no explanation. Number 9, won Gloucester Chess Congress ahead of 244 competitors. Practiced, enjoyed the game and concentrated on winning each game one at a time. Number 10, encouraged other people to improve their mental health. Focused on my own model of helping myself and looked at ways other people could maximise their potential through techniques and opportunities that I used. Your top 10 examples of achieving the impossible. Please start writing. Number 1. So let me clarify this. Write down 5 occasions in your life when you achieved something that at one moment in time you thought you would never be able to achieve, and then list 5 reasons as to how you got there. And then write another 5 and another 5. So you're writing 10 different reasons and 10 different examples. Your top 10 examples of achieving the impossible and then 10 reasons for it. Get lots of percentage points for this, so it's really good to go for it. I'm going to give you another minute or two. Enjoy it while you're writing them down. Enjoy it. And, smile. Feel good about yourself as well. So you must have done 3 or 4 by now. 5 or 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Okay, that's great. I'm just assuming you've done it. If you haven't, please stop me, pause me, and finish them, and then go back and do the exercise, because you've got to be the kind of person who's going to deliver on this and finish every exercise. Okay, if you want unlimited confidence and you want to smash the fear of mental illness, that's what you've got to do. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. I've been there. Okay, so you've done it. Excellent, that's great. Stop me if you haven't. Okay, I'm assuming you've done it. Okay. For each of your 10 examples, no matter how big or small, and each reason, you will receive 1% unlimited confidence. This will take your percentage from 65% at the end of the previous chapter to 85%. Congratulations, you are 85% of your way towards unlimited confidence. Jump up and down and celebrate. Woo! Woo! Go wild. Woo! And praise yourself. The world is a fantastic place. Just feel these senses of unlimited confidence for a few moments. And a few moments longer. Give yourself a clap. Wow. This is feeling great. You're 85% of the way there. I'm making this too easy. 85% of the way to unlimited confidence, smashing the fear of mental illness. That's fantastic. Chapter 9. Being creative. I'm always thinking about creating. My future starts when I wake up every morning. Every day I find something creative to do with my life. I'll say this. There are two ways of being creative. One can sing and dance, or one can create an environment in which singers and dancers flourish. Warren G. Bennis. Creativity is inventing, experimenting, growing, taking risks, breaking rules, making mistakes, and having fun. Mary Lou Cook. Being creative is vital to all of our mental health empowerment and to having unlimited confidence. Having liaised with thousands and worked with hundreds of people with mental illness since 2002, and having been diagnosed with manic depression myself in 1992 at the age of 17, I know that people lose their sanity for different reasons. It may be because of overwork, drugs, drink, relationship breakdown, other reasons, or a combination of different reasons. People who experience mental illness, especially bipolar, manic depressives, always seem to get better if they can harness their creativity in some way or other. I believe the same is true for every person. Everyone needs to harness their creativity in some way, shape or form, not just those who have a mental health related issue, or mental health experience is my preferred term. They must have a creative outlet. If that creative outlet can be something that reminds them that their mad experiences can be used as a positive, then that is where the real lasting change of well-being can be possible. So write a book or even a home study course and send it into the Chipmunk Publishing website. We are waiting to give you a voice, to encourage you to become a social entrepreneur, to help others, and the more you can promote yourself and believe in this mission, the more potential you will have to help others, and the more we will be able to help you. If you're going to write a book or home study course and you do not know where to start, then just think about your life for a moment. Since the age of 17, I have been absorbed in how the world perceives mental illness. When I was 17, I was told I had manic depression, and this was a disease that I would have for the rest of my life. Having written my autobiography on living with manic depression, A Kind of Madness, and published over 825 books on mental illness, I now see that everyone's life is affected by mental illness in some way, shape or form. If I can make everyone in the world realise that they have an aspect of a mental health issue or experience in their lives, then Chipmunka as a publisher will have made the transition from mental health publisher to a globally recognised brand. Therefore, the perception will have changed. Instead of people self-manifesting their own mental illness and being stigmatised by people, the world will be more concerned with well-being and improving each other's lives. It will be more tolerant as well. During my own recovery, I've gone through different stages, and controlled creativity has been present. Controlled creativity, I'm saying, has been present when I have made the quantum leap into well-being. Below is my list of the titles of my first 5 books. I want you to come up with your 5 titles for your first 5 books. If you've already written 5, please come up with another 5, okay? Even if you've never written a book or never envisaged writing one, I want you to come up with 5 titles now so you can move your well-being score up from 85 to 90%. Number 1, A Kind of Madness. Number 2, Curing Madness. Number 3, The Ultimate Guide to Well-being. Number 4, Bipolar Recovery and NLP. Number 5, Mental Health Empowerment. Okay, your 5 titles for your 5 books. Your first 5 books. Okay. Number 1. Number 2. Just get something down. You can always change it later. Please, thank you. Number 3. Number 4. Hope you're getting a buzz out of this. Hope you're enjoying it. Number 5. Excellent. If you haven't done it, please stop me, write them down, and you can always go back to it later, so just get something down. I'll give you another 10 seconds just to get something down. Okay. We all are, or can be, creative to a lesser or greater degree if we are given the opportunity. In the next few moments, I will explain exactly what creativity is. Creativity always involves thinking or behaving imaginatively. Second, overall this imaginative activity is purposeful. That is, it is directed to achieving an objective. Third, these processes must generate something original. Fourth, the outcome must be of value in relation to the objective. Creativity improves people's self-esteem, motivation, and achievement. People who are encouraged to think creatively and independently become more interested in discovering things for themselves, more open to new ideas, keen to work with others to explore ideas. Now we know what creativity is. Let's have some fun with it. Now I want you to come up with 5 titles for making your own mental health home study course. I'll help with coming up with titles of my own. You can choose the subject that you're an expert on. Here's my 5 titles, here it goes. Number 1. Having the confidence to regain control of your life. Managing your bipolar better. Conquering your bipolar. Making the most of your manic depression. Saying no to bipolar. Defining my life. List the 5 names of the home study courses you are thinking of writing. And number 1. So if you've experienced anorexia, then write about that. Put anorexia in the title. If you've experienced self-harm, put self-harm in the title. If you've experienced schizophrenia, put that in the title. It makes it more marketable, and it will also focus you as well. And have an interesting title, or an upbeat title, possibly. It doesn't have to be, but it can be. And that is, is pretty good. But have a title that really resonates. So you've got to get all 5 down, please. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. So please just get something down, the first thing that comes into your head. I really want you to get on the roll now. If you haven't finished, then stop me for a few moments and then get it, and then get straight to it now. No breaks now, we want to get through this. Okay, this brings your well-being score up from 90% to 95%, as long as you have put the title down for each. If you actually go on to write them, then please send them to me so I can publish them for you. We are waiting. Thank you for your dedication. Now, one last task for you to achieve that maximum score. It's a bit of fun. Although I'm a writer and have recorded a rap album, I'm certainly not an artist. although I've dabbled. I'm fortunate to know one or two extremely talented artists. In fact, several mega talented artists. The best advice one of them gave me when I asked him how I should paint was, just paint. This is what I say to people who want to write their own book, and also similar to what I was advised when doing my rap album. Now I'm going to challenge you and myself to come up with 5 works of art. You'll see that there is already some excellent art on the Chipmunka website. Here are my 5 titles of art. Once I write them down, I commit to painting them as best as I can. A Can of Madness. That's number 1. Number 2. The Secret Art of a Manic Depressive. Number 3. Mad Art. Number 4. From Madness to Well-Being. Number 5. Empowering mad artists around the world. Your top 5 art masterpieces will be: number 1, oh no, Schizophrenic Heaven, or Body Dysmorphic Disorder Revealed, or Self-Harm No More. Your top 5 art masterpieces. Come on, you can do it. Just write them down. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Getting really excited. Just write them down, please. Just write anything down. Don't stop me, just write it down. You've written 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. It's getting really exciting now. Just write down a number. If you haven't written it down, just write something down. Okay. Congratulations, you have now increased your score from 95 to 100%. You now have 100% unlimited confidence. Wow. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the destination as well as the journey. The journey as well as the destination. Now, how do you feel having written the 5 titles to your first 5 books? Pretty creative. Good. How do you feel knowing that writing those books could be used to reduce stigma on mental health and give a voice to people with mental illness? Even better? Great. It's up to you if you want to write a book or not, but being creative is something that every human being should be encouraged to do. It is good for the human spirit and our sanity as long as we maintain our practical and logical side too. There is of course more to creativity than writing and doing your own home study course, but they are great examples, as each of these disciplines requires the use of different senses. During your journey to 100% unlimited confidence, you have learned to master many different positive states of unlimited confidence. You have discovered how to measure having a healthy mind, body and soul. You have learned what is crucial to your happiness. You have inspired yourself and become more aware of inspiring and having time for other people. You have worked on how to make the world a better place. You have connected with your spirituality and the spirituality of other people and rid yourself of your own ego. You have mastered making the impossible possible by being aware of emotional intelligence and altering your perception. You have also harnessed your creativity. Taking all this into consideration, you deserve to have achieved 100% unlimited confidence, and there is no reason why you should not be able to maintain 100% unlimited confidence throughout your life. Before you sit back, relax and celebrate, spare a thought for enabling other people you come into contact with in life achieving unlimited confidence as well. Not only is this a comforting thought, but focusing on the happiness of others on a daily basis is also the key to your unlimited confidence. It's not rocket science, anyone can achieve it. I wish you 100% unlimited confidence, and the same for the people that you come into contact with. It's been a pleasure writing this home study course and speaking about it and chatting in front of you and for you listening to me. If it has helped you in any way, then I would love to hear about it, or please say so on Amazon, iBook Store or Google Books or wherever you see it. You can contact me through the publishing company's website. Just go to Chipmunka, chipmunka.com. That's chipmunka.com. And there's a Jason Pegler page on there, and go to that. Or you can go straight to Jason Pegler, Pegler.co.uk. Thanks for listening. May the force of unlimited confidence be with you forever. I hope you've had a great time, because I have. Addendum. Oh, and if you send me your home study course after reading this, I will give you an extra 10% and make it a 110% score. Sign your own contract and stick to it at the end, and you can add another 90% to give yourself 200% unlimited confidence. Why not? Life is like a game. The more fun you have playing it and the harder you push yourself, the more rewards you will get. Therefore, the greater the extent your unlimited confidence smashes the fear of mental illness into the distance to disappear forever. Conclusion. The unlimited confidence contract. This is for you to sign. Okay? Swear an oath, please. Put your hand on your heart. I make a commitment to myself to snap out of any negative thoughts that may arise and focus on unlimited confidence for the rest of my life. I make a full commitment to myself to have a healthy mind, body and soul. I know what is crucial to your happiness and will ensure that I use this knowledge to maintain my happiness. I know how to inspire myself and will therefore be at ease inspiring myself every day. I will inspire and have time for other people at every reasonable opportunity. I dedicate myself to making the world a better place. I promise to connecting myself spiritually and to let go of my ego. I endeavour to make the impossible possible by using emotional intelligence wherever possible. I will harness my creativity to improve my unlimited confidence and enable the unlimited confidence of others. I realise that signing this contract is a lifelong commitment to increasing my unlimited confidence and that of other people. Signed by, and then write your name, say your name, and the day, if you listen to this or watching this, and then please write it and sign it down if it's written. Brilliant, I've loved it. Please do let me know what you thought of it, and the best unlimited confidence to you and everyone you ever come into contact with. Love you lots.